All right, so I believe we are live. Thought I'd come on here real quick. Just got off work. Have no idea what I'm going to talk about. Probably just going to scroll YouTube, see if we find anything cool. That's kind of what we're doing today. And panhandle for super chats, I guess. Seems like the thing to do. Hopefully you guys are enjoying your Sunday. Don't have too much time. I got stuff to do, but I will come on briefly to, like I said, spend a little bit of time with you guys. Right as I jump on YouTube, immediately, one of the first things I see is dystopian drug disaster in Seattle. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. What up? What up, my man? Graph. I can't even read. We're off to a bad start. I'm tired. Just got off work. What's up, my man? I'll learn to read eventually. I promise. Got a few people jumping in right now. I'm not sure what I'm going to look at. Look, get off work and they want to show me more work-related stuff. Isn't that nice? Oh, look at this. This generation never had a chance. Let's see what this is about. Hold on a minute. I got to plug my headphones into the computer. I didn't have them plugged into there. I had them plugged in, checking my own audio. So let's see what we got here with this video.
In just a few years.
She says,
what am I?
She says, this generation never had a chance. I'll be the judge of that, sweetie. I have no idea who this is. Kaylin Marissa. Looks like a relatively new channel. I say that because she only has 5,000 subs, and for a pretty gal to start a YouTube channel, they get subscriptions relatively easily. So anyway, let's see what she's got to say.
What am I talking about here? iPad kids. The lazy parents of this generation. There is literally no excuse for the lack of parenting going on in the modern world. There's no
with her so
excuse
far.
for it. I can't help but imagine a world, the next generation, when I'm an old woman, and first of all, I don't even know how much artificial intelligence will be in control of, but I do believe that there may still be some human jobs. And if there are, can you even picture a world where these children being raised by screens are in positions of power or positions of service to others? Like, I'm not putting them down because it's not their fault. It's the parents' fault. I'm putting the parents on the trial right now.
Let me say something about that line in itself. I've heard a little bit too much of this lately where people say, I blame the parents. I blame the parents. I mean, I've seen clips of mobs of teenagers wreaking havoc on 7-Elevens or in the middle of the street or raiding stores, mobbing. And in the comments, I keep seeing these goofballs saying, I blame the parents. All right, at some point, when your 17-year-old teenager is out here wreaking havoc and doing smashing grabs and mobbing 7-Elevens to steal stuff in mass because you can't arrest everybody, at some point, let's hold the punk accountable that's actually doing the thing. Like, I get it. Everybody says, I blame the parents. I blame the parents. Yeah, but at some point, a little bit of blame needs to start going on the teenagers that are acting a fool, too. When I was a teenager, nobody gave me sympathy. Nobody passed the buck when I did something stupid. I'll tell you that right now. That's a relatively new thing. Anybody who's a millennial or older, you guys can attest to this. For the most part, when you did something stupid, when you were a kid, especially when you were a teenager, nobody pushed the blame off on your parents. Very rarely did that happen. Everybody blamed you. You would get a whooping if it was deserved. So this whole I blame the parents thing, I get it to some degree, but I think we do that a little bit too much. Anyway, I digress.
I'm judging the parents right now. And yes, I am judging because it is something to be judged. When you look around and let's just say you saw a very pregnant woman maybe drinking some alcohol or smoking a cigarette, wouldn't you judge her because you know that that is going to cause damage to that fetus, that unborn baby? It's the same thing with screens. When you
Hey, I'd just be grateful she's having it. I'd be grateful she's keeping it in 2026. If she wants to smoke a cig, of course it's not good, but God bless her for keeping it. In 2026, it's a miracle when a gal keeps the baby. I'd be amazed that she even goes that far.
Look around and you see parents shoving an iPad in front of their baby or their child, 5 years old or younger, that is a form of active child abuse. Any
He's onto
sane
something, I guess.
adult
Yeah. I
would
call it
know
laziness,
that
though.
that is a form of damage to the brain of a developing human being. It's not that hard to figure out, so I'm not sure where the confusion is happening that's allowing most adults, most people my age, and even people older than me, to be okay with doing that to their child.
You got to remember something, though. We live in a time now that is busier than ever. Excuse me. And you've got to work more than ever to keep your head above water. So a lot of people that I see that do lean on the technology to kind of keep the kids busy, as much as I don't like it, and as much as I agree with what she's saying, you got to remember something, man. People are working full-time and beyond, and a lot of people are answering emails and trying to read this or write that or deal with work-related stress. You know, to play devil's advocate, there is a high level of that going on too. Again, I'm still with you saying that I don't like the idea of technology raising our kids. I'm still with you on that. And I don't like people just shoving their kids in front of the iPad or the phone. But man, most people today that I know in my personal life, they don't have the one parent working household. They don't have a dedicated mother that can cradle the baby and read the book. They can go out and pick flowers and look at the bugs and lay in the grass. Like, they don't have that anymore. So a lot of people are just so damn busy that they kind of have to use the iPhone or the phone, I guess, or the iPad, the tablet to help keep that kid at bay while they get done all the chores and tasks that are, becoming increasing more and more every day. Just playing devil's advocate, but I'm with her.
I personally think it's a combination of things, but one of the big things that I don't think is talked about enough is how we, including me, I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm holier than thou, we are addicted to our phones as like an overall society. Even the old people who didn't know how to use phones a few years ago, they are now like always scrolling Facebook, they are falling for the AI posts, they don't know what's real and fake. Every human being is addicted to a screen. Of course, I'm speaking in generalized terms here. Of course, there's exceptions, like some people aren't. But the adults are addicted to their screens. And what do we all know children do? They mirror what they see in front of them, right? So I think that's, of course, the problem starts with us. It's not the kids' fault. But it's a much bigger problem than I think anyone really wants to admit or even talk about or even think about. But I can't stop thinking about it. So that's why I'm here talking about it. Because I can't stop thinking about it. And I'm tired of overlooking it like it's normal. I remember I was at a cookout and I was there with some people, and some people I didn't know had a baby, like a newborn baby, maybe a few months old. I really understand bringing a baby places is not easy. It was never supposed to be easy. That's why you're supposed to be a parent and stop being lazy and stop relaxing instead of being a parent. Okay, that's a whole nother video or whole nother topic I might touch on. But they had a baby in the stroller, just strapped in their car seat with the screen attached to the stroller bar handle in front of the baby's face so that the baby wouldn't be a baby, basically, because you're putting the brain of that human being into a trance. It's not because the baby thinks it's interesting. The baby can probably not even see what's in front of him at that point at a few months old.
Honestly, I've been thinking a little bit about that myself, and I don't think we know really the long-term effects of the smartphone or the tablet when it comes to babies and children. Because millennials were the last generation to grow up having a normal childhood. We were the last ones. And I think now to this day, we still have not really gone down the rabbit hole to explore how much of the changing in people's behavior, how much of the societal norms that have changed themselves, how much of that is the result of so much damn screen time and all of the toxicity and brainwashing and social programming that comes with all of the damn screen time. I see a lot of people talking about it and acting like they've done some research and study says this and studies say that. But in reality, we don't really know much about that yet. We don't. All we know is that people are changing. People are acting weird. Children aren't, definitely not growing up the way they did when I was a kid. Hell, I told this story before when I was working in Maple Valley, Washington. And to those of you that don't know, Maple Valley is, it's southeast of me up here in Seattle. And on Maple Valley Highway, the main road there, there's this big-ass park by the golf course. And every day we were working in this new construction development. We did like 3 roofs in this development. And every day we drove down that Maple Valley Highway, and I'd look at the park in the middle of summer. Not one time on my way to work or on my way home from work did I see hardly anyone in that park. When I was a kid and a teenager, no matter what sport you were trying to play, whether it's baseball, football, basketball, going to the swings and the playgrounds, you couldn't find an open spot to play. You couldn't. We would get our friends together and march to the baseball field to play baseball. We never got the field to ourselves. You never. You could. It was like a miracle. When you and your bros went to the park, when you guys marched to the park with your baseball bats and your gloves like the Sandlot, and you got to the park and you had an open field, you guys felt like you won the lottery. You were ecstatic. You couldn't believe that you actually had the field to yourself. That's how it was when I was growing up. Same thing with the basketball courts. Same thing with the football field. Same thing with the playgrounds, anything. You couldn't find an open spot. Now, I look around the parks in my area, there's hardly anybody there. You might see an adult walking their little dog on their phone, might I add. Maybe you'll see a couple kids, but it's nothing like it was when I was a kid. And of course, there's a discussion to be had about the population, or maybe there's not as many kids anymore. But I see kids around. I see school buses dropping off loads of children. None of them go to the park. They all just go inside and sit in front of their screens. And like I said, I don't think we really understand the ramifications of that yet. We talk about it like we understand that it's bad, but I'll be honest, I don't think we've seen shit yet when it comes to how goofy people are going to get because they didn't have a normal childhood. Anyway, carry on, my love.
You are literally putting the brain into an altered state of hypnosis, basically. A damaging hypnosis to that developing human brain. And I feel like that should be common sense. Like, why am I sitting here explaining this? I just can't understand the mind of the average adult. And this is the average, right? Most parents are doing this. Most people are okay with this. Now, I'm not saying you can't use screens as a tool for an older child. You definitely can use it as a tool. My parents allowed me to watch television when I was a child, but...
Yeah, but television and these smartphones are not the same thing, man. I would argue that most of the things people see on their smartphones are very degenerate, very toxic. If a kid happens to go on YouTube, they're probably going to see stuff that's relatively inappropriate because the algorithms like to force feed toxic stuff on you. God forbid a kid goes on social media. Social media platforms, don't even get me started. Those are a complete toxic wasteland. And if I see a kid that scrolls Instagram or any other social media platform for that matter, I know they're seeing things they shouldn't be seeing. So I guess you can use a smartphone for an older kid. But when I think older kid, I think young teens or just before teens when you're starting to get curious about this, that, and the other. And curiosity mixed with a smartphone can lead to a lot of toxicity being ingested, and I am not a fan of that. Again, we haven't even begun to really scratch the surface on how much toxicity is going to damage and has damaged the minds of young people because, like I said, millennials, we're getting up there now in age, but the generation after us is kind of the first generation that started having that stuff as kids, but it's only getting worse with every year that goes by. The smartphone and the tablet and just the online toxicity is only becoming more and more relevant in children's everyday lives, I should say. And I just don't think we've seen shit yet. I think it's going to get a lot worse, and people are going to realize where we are, at some point we're going to look back and realize, man, people were so much different back then. We already talk about that now, but we ain't seen nothing yet, bro. People are getting goofier and goofier every day. Maybe I'm biased because I live in Seattle, and this is the goofy mecca, one of the goofy meccas, I guess. But yeah, man. Anyway.
Limited, and also the things that they chose to allow me to watch were much different than the things that children are being exposed to nowadays, like Coco Melon, all these, like, what is it, Goy Slop shows, and all this junk on the internet. Like, why are you letting your kid look at that?
Keeps them
Why
busy.
are you letting your child have unrestricted access to YouTube or any device? Why do you even own a device specifically for your child? That's not okay. Who decided that was okay? Who normalized that?
Well, because mama's got to scroll her own Instagram, honey. That kid's bothering her. Young ladies like you, and maybe not you specifically, but I'm going to kind of throw you under the bus here. Most young gals that have kids, they ain't got time to be mothering that kid. They got Bradley and Chad and Jacob and Tyrone and whoever else that's messaging them, liking their pictures. Come on, kid, you're bugging me. Get out of the way. You're in my shot. You're messing up my lighting. My ass looks great in the mirror right now with this lighting. Get out of here, kid. You're screwing everything up. Here, take this phone. Go entertain yourself. Mama's trying to get her own attention online. There's a lot of that, too.
I mean, I know the bigger people and their bigger plan, they want to normalize that, but I'm just talking about, I really can't comprehend how the average everyday today human can't question these things. Not to mention, children aren't even given the opportunity to have a childhood anymore.
Yep, true.
They're not even given the opportunity to step outside and play in the dirt and get dirty. They're not.
Well, he says, Gil says, don't forget Julio. Yeah, we can't forget Julio. Julio's in that inbox too. All the Julios, they're in there. They're in the inbox as well. These women don't discriminate. They want attention from everybody.
Even given the opportunity to be bored and have an imagination and creativity. You know, those years of childhood and adolescence are the most priceless years of a human life because it is free from responsibility. But yet we, aka my generation, we are robbing them from that experience.
Just for the record, I'm almost 40 and I still live like I have no responsibility. I am an overgrown child and I'm proud of that. And I say that half joking, but that's the mindset that I keep all the time. Even when I'm at work, I try to have fun. Mindset is everything, but I could talk about that for hours. Mindset is everything. So always try to be a child at heart. Don't ever let the world take that spark out of you.
And no one's thinking twice about it. No one is considering what they're doing may be unethical and destroying the human cycle. You are creating kids with no attention span. Can you imagine in a few years when these kids are, like I said before, working some jobs? Just a couple of years when these kids are in high school and start getting jobs, they are not going to be able to be trained at a fast food job without a dopamine hit. Because the screens, what they're doing is not just developing developmental issues in the brain of the child. It is also creating a dopamine addiction in the brain. And I would argue that's not much different than any type of drug addiction. When you want that drug, it makes you feel good. You need it to operate. You cannot operate it without it because your brain grew around that drug and those feelings and those hormones or whatever it may be. That's the same thing. It is a form of child abuse to allow your children this much access and time on a screen from a young age.
Hey, I would argue sending them to school in 2026 is child abuse. Sending them to public school is child abuse too. Come to Seattle. Send your kids to school here. Put them in the public schools here. That's more child abuse than anything they're looking at on that phone, most likely. Shit.
They're not going to be able to work a job without a dopamine hit or a fix of some kind. They won't be able to focus. They already can't focus in schools. And what are schools doing? The state that I live in, you're not even allowed to fail a child before high school. Even if they don't turn in their homework. You cannot fail a child. You have to pass them. So the schools are adapting to the level of consciousness of these children instead of fixing the problem and getting to the root of the problem that's at home.
No, the schools most likely want this. The public school system wants this. Because these dull-minded children, these children with a infatuated mind with all the toxicity that they see on their smartphone, those minds are easily warped, easily corrupted, easily controlled. Make no mistake, they like that. The public school system wants that because they can take them little sweet innocent children and mold them into whatever leftist goofy monster they want to mold them into. They don't want free-spirited, happy, open-minded, loving, explorative, I can't talk, tired. Children that like to explore. I was going to say exploratory. I don't even know if that's a word. I like to make up my own words. That's what you do when you're mentally ill. Anyway, carry on.
Instead, they're just adapting. Sorry to be crude, but it's for they're creating dumb children. The whole time.
I can see she edited some stuff out of the video. She probably got heated and started saying stuff she knew that the big machine wouldn't like. YouTube would probably bury the video if she said what she edited out. Unfortunately, you got to do that sometimes.
Timeline of the human species, we have never had screens. This is the first timeline that has been introduced to us. So it is an active experiment. We don't know the long-term effects of not just screens, but the radiation as well.
Yep. Yeah, don't get me started on that.
Exposure to a developing human body / human brain.
Turn off your 5G if you have it on your phone. You'll thank me later.
With these devices and hours of usage, unlimited amounts, all these things mixed together, it doesn't sound like a disaster to you?
Oh, it does.
Even the things like discipline and lessons that parents are supposed to teach their children are getting pushed to the side. Because if you're putting your child in front of a device or a screen all day, for that screen to babysit them, you're not even giving that child a chance to mess up so that you can then discipline them and correct them and teach them lessons over and over and over again. It's not fun, but it's not supposed to be fun.
You guys got to remember something too. As she talks about parenting and teaching your children, the big machine, the way I like to put it, whether it be social media or the school system itself, and these guys want to rule over your kids. The government kind of wants to be the parent now. I mean, you've got laws, you've got cities and states in places like Canada, even in America as well, where the government and the schools are creeping their way more and more into your child's life. They're like shifting the power. They know more about your kids than you do. There's people that are pushing to create laws to keep you out of the loop when it comes to what goes on at school between the school system and the teachers and your children. Like they are inching their way into ruling over your kids and teaching them the way they want them to think. And they're working to take the power away from the parents in many ways. I mean, look into it. In a lot of these blue states especially, I'll call them out directly. It's crazy, bro. Like these teachers and these school systems push the wackiest shit. And they're pushing for parents to have less rights, to know less. Look at the gender stuff. Don't even get me started. We'll get the entire channel axed if I open my mouth about that. Just saying the word gender is probably going to get this live stream sent to the shadow realm. That's how crazy it's getting. The whole gender discussion that goes on in school with your kids, bro. They want the parents out of the loop. You be quiet. Mind your own business. Timmy wants to be Tamara. Mind your own business. We're going to facilitate that, and there's nothing you can do about it. That's actually happening under your noses right now in most of your states. There's creepy teachers in these creepy school systems that they're inching their way into that. They want that power.
It's not supposed to be an enjoyable experience. It's supposed to be a human experience, and you're supposed
That's what I told my ex after we had sex when she was complaining. I said, it's not supposed to be an enjoyable experience.
to raise your children in morals and discipline and hard work and teach them the right things and the wrong things. And when the parents are looking down and the children are looking down, there's no interaction. The family unit is falling apart. It's exactly what they've planned for, in my opinion.
Yep, agreed.
Schopenhauer talked about how in order for a man to truly know himself, he had to be bored. Like, the kids in this next generation, and even my generation, we don't know anything about ourselves. And the next generation surely won't know anything about themselves because they were robbed from the chance of ever knowing themselves from the moment they were born to parents that decided to be lazy and selfish rather than to be a parent. I think it's honestly alarming how much most of us don't really know ourselves, or most of the people in this world. And
I agree with
it just
that.
goes to show that the further society continues on, the less character will be here in the world.
Yeah, and again, that's what the big machine wants. We have people now that, and this is going to trigger YouTube. We have people that don't even know their own gender. Like, seriously, I'm not saying that to be mean. That's a problem, bro. Like, when you have a measurable number of people that make that claim, I don't care how you feel about me saying that. That is a sign of serious problems. If that offends you, be offended. That doesn't mean I hate anybody. That doesn't mean I want to say or do anything mean to anybody. I'm just saying that is a sign that we've got serious problems. Nobody's bored anymore. Everybody just looks for something to fill their... I'm going to tell you guys this right now. Ask yourself this. When is the last time you went to the bank or went to the grocery store and you stood in line and you didn't use your phone? When's the last time you stood there awkwardly trying to make conversation with strangers or just stare straight ahead? Nobody does that anymore. I had to go to the bank recently and I stood in line and I said, I'm going to make it a point not to get on my phone. I'm just going to go through this slow ass line and just kind of be a human. Bro, everybody was creeped out. I'm not kidding. People were creeped out by me doing that. They were so creeped out at me doing that. Trying to nod at people and say hi. They're like, what? Get away from me, you creep. That's how strange people have gotten. That's how unhuman things have gotten. Like, the whole human experience is not even a thing anymore. Like, in some of my videos, I've made jokes about don't forget to pet a dog and don't take that stuff for granted. Don't take for granted giving a loved one a hug or fist bumping a friend. Like, I know that's cliche, but I'm serious. Do not take that stuff for granted. All the garbage that you see on social media, all the things that are meant to make you angry or sad or mad or afraid, don't let that stuff consume you. Like, people are not living the way they should be living, to put it mildly. People today do not even live life. Like, nobody even goes outside anymore. Like I said, go drive around the park. Most of the parks are empty now. Nobody's even at the park anymore. It's sick, dude.
Which, again, I've said in other videos, I believe is all part of a biblical plan. And I believe that does line up exactly with what the Bible teaches us towards the end of time.
Agreed.
Towards the revelation that the world will get worse and worse and worse before ultimately it gets better. And what better way to control a society than to strip all sense of self and all sense of God from the people?
Yep.
And guys, I think this next generation is a really, really close example to that.
Agreed. Let's shout this chick out. That was a pretty good video. All you guys, go check her out. Kaylin Marissa. If you guys can see that, go check her out. We'll give this video a like. Let's see what else she's got on here. She doesn't seem like a crazy wokester. Maybe she is. I don't know. Wouldn't be surprised. But what other titles? Feminism is a psyop. Look at that. Let's check that out too. How many views is
Feminism
these getting?
was one of the most successful psychological operations ever performed and executed perfectly on a woman.
I'll be honest, bro. For like a pretty girl, her views are not as good as I would expect them to be. And I think it's because she is saying things that the algorithm probably doesn't like that much. I'm sure that's a part of this. Which is a good thing to me. I respect that. It sounds like she's not like a crazy wokester. It sounds like she respects the Bible. It sounds like she has common sense from what I've seen so far. So, of course, she's not being pushed in the algorithm. Of course, she's not getting 100,000 views because she's not pushing the same toxic slop that YouTube just loves to push.
And now it is actively destroying society, families, households, everything from the inside out. And the moms don't even know how to raise their own daughters. The dads, I'm not a dad, so I can't say too much on them, but how much can they even do? Because their wives and the mothers don't even respect them.
Hey, she's off to a good start. I like this video. She's off to a good start. She knows a thing or two about a thing or two.
What can you expect when you take the heart of the household and harden it? You push these ideas, these narratives that rip the soul out of the one thing that's supposed to have the most beautiful soul. In the beginning of the word in the Bible, it says that God created the male and female, and I think that sentence is extremely important, and it was written there for a reason, because male and female are two separate things. Feminism was never about equal rights. If you are an intellectual with any type of brain in your head, you will understand the concept behind feminism. Now, I'm not saying that the women who stood behind feminism were doing that out of ill will. Absolutely not.
I disagree. I think they were.
And I don't think that men, average everyday men, are against the equality of the genders in terms of the law and how the law views a woman and a man.
That's debatable. Justifiably debatable.
However, the government has never been innocent. The government has always preyed on victims, preyed on the population like they are weak animals or something like that. And from the moment that this idea even became introduced to society, it was a play. It was a play on the people. It was a play on the most vulnerable and emotional members of society, which is the woman. And we all know, well, not all of us, but if you are, like I said, any type of intellectual individual, you will understand and you will know who funded feminism in the beginning. In the very beginning, the people that funded feminism were strategic billionaires, trillionaires, a certain foundation, you may say.
Now I know why she's not getting the views that I assumed she would get, being a pretty girl, doing a talking head video. Starting to make sense. So, I mean, respect to her.
And this foundation pushed this idea. They pushed it and they pushed it and they pushed it. It was never about equality. It was never about the average everyday woman. It was never about these things. It was all about money. It was about taxing a whole group of people that were not able to be taxed before. Feminism was never about freedoms or rights. Never, ever, ever. Now, of course, some things at that time were questionable in the way that women were being treated in society. And yes, those things needed to be addressed. But again, I'm going to circle back around and let's just talk about how the government never cares about people. So do you really believe that these problems were the main concern of the government?
I'll be honest, bro. That's a line that I don't fully agree with when people say that all the time. The way women were being treated. It's like, how badly were they being treated? Living in these nice houses from their husbands, busting their ass every single day while they sat at home in beautiful houses with beautiful kitchens and beautiful appliances with nice backyards and cute puppies and lovely, healthy children. Come on, bro. Stop acting like it was such torture. Stop acting like the mother from the Wonder Years had it so bad. Stop acting like the mom from Leave It to Beaver had it so bad. God, such prisoners. It's an exaggeration.
Or were these things just, what's that word? Bait for the fish to bite. And so once they bit that bait, they really got down into the ocean. They got pulled down. And all these other things came on top of them that they didn't even know about because they didn't question anything. They just accepted it with the false sense of stability and safety being introduced as a woman. I'm not going to say that feminism has always been this way. I mean, I wasn't around when it was introduced, so I can't specifically say how the world was at that time because I wasn't here to see it. I can look in history books, but who knows how accurate the history books are anyways. But I can say that I know for 100% certainty that modern day feminists, the ones walking around my world and in my vision all around me and all over the world, complete disaster to society. Complete disaster.
I like this girl. I like this girl. Hold on a minute. I got to take a second. We're going to go back to the video, but I got to subscribe. I like her. She's earned my respect so far. And again, you guys should go subscribe, I think. Kaylin Marissa, I think she deserves a shout out. The fact that she's willing to speak out against the things that YouTube does not like people speaking out against, I respect that a lot. I respect that a lot.
Complete disaster. And this is exactly what they wanted to happen. Because I mentioned in my last video a little bit about how when you take the woman out of the home crumbles. Well, if you take the mom out of the home, who does the kid then look to as their family? The state. That's what they want. And then,
we just talked about,
I said before in my previous video, the state creates another slave for the system and so on and so forth.
And it's not even just that. It's just that they love the amount of success they have with the propaganda that they push, the social programming that they push. Like I said, the school system is a big one, especially in all these blue cities and states. The school system is a propaganda machine, in my opinion. In my opinion, YouTube. Let me put that little line in there so we don't get the iron-fisted silencing because I'm speaking my mind. You can't really do that anymore on YouTube, on corporate tube, as our boy Raymond Thoughts and Mind called it. Shout out to Raymond Thoughts and Mind. He got screwed over by haters and by YouTube. Head over to Kick. Head over to Kick and subscribe to our boy Raymond Thoughts and Mind. I just started a Kick account, and he's a bro of mine, somebody I really, really respect. And he's always been good to me, so I got to take a second to shout him out just because I'm so frustrated with how screwed over he got by YouTube, from what I've seen anyway. Anyway, get back on track, dude.
That is the whole point. They want to create a world of workers, a world of slaves. And 90, if not more, I'm going to say 90 to be conservative, to be polite, 90% of women, this goes completely over their head. And they take feminism, this just really gets me going, they take feminism as some sort of empowerment when you are literally enslaving yourself.
But it is empowerment because what it does is it allows them to run around being as toxic as they want when society still tells men to play by the old rule book. So women get to run amok and say and do and be whatever they want, no matter how toxic, degenerate, trashy it is, and they don't face a single repercussion. The only real undeniable repercussion that they face is the wall. As we all make that joke, the wall's coming. Once your youthfulness and beauty goes away, you don't really have the leverage that you've had your entire life with monetizing your sexuality and your youthfulness and your beauty. Once the wall hits, that's the closest thing to facing repercussions as they're going to get. And we fight like hell to prevent that. And we fight like hell to ban and to silence any man who tries to make fun of them for that or call them out for that. So again, we live in a world now that promotes the degeneracy. That's why, who would not love feminism as a woman? Who wouldn't love it? It's like all win with no loss. It's all benefit with no sacrifice, no repercussions, no nothing. Like, come on now.
You don't even have the brains to think through what this actually is in reality. Creating an OnlyFans account is not empowerment. You are literally enslaving yourself to a disgusting, disgusting system.
I should start an OnlyFans. Probably make more money than on these roofs slamming shingles all day, I'll tell you that.
It's absolutely degenerate and disgusting. And you're a feminist, but your entire job depends on men? Feminism has made women hate men from the beginning, not even giving them a chance, which therefore raises other children, if the feminist even has children, to then hate men and to put them down. And it creates an entire framework of disrespect and just no gratefulness for the things that we have from men. And I think that's absolutely repulsive.
Amen to that.
Like I said in my last video, I don't care if you think that I'm sounding like a pick-me. I'm coming from a place of genuine thought and genuine concern, and I really do observe these things.
It's crazy how she just said, I don't care if I come off like a pick-me. Or, like, bro, it is crazy that a young woman respecting men for their hard work and calling out toxicity is dogpiled on. Like, that is crazy that she has to give that disclaimer. Like, I know, sorry about that. Hopefully my audio didn't mess up. I just bumped the mixer there. I think it's crazy that she has to like give that disclaimer that I know I'm going to be attacked for this, for sounding sane and rational. I know I'm going to sound crazy to most of you. Like, that blows my mind that a woman has to actually give a disclaimer to try to like disarm all the people that come after her for saying, hey, men have done some good. I don't think all men are terrible. I think we got some good men that have built great, safe, advanced civilizations. How dare her be grateful for the hard work of men? How dare her? I need a puke bag.
For example, a woman may drive to her studio for her OnlyFans job to record some content to sell to men, by the way, which are the ones funding her life. And she will talk about how much she doesn't need a man, how I don't need no man, I can do this on my own, I'm a strong, independent woman. Well, how did you drive to your OnlyFans studio to record content? Well, you got into a man-made car, and you drove on man-made roads, and you weren't killed and raped in public on the side of the road because you have male police officers to protect you. It's just a clown show. It's a complete joke. This whole thing is a complete joke. There's no logic behind it, but what can you expect when you have modern-day feminists running around everywhere? It's kind of comical, honestly. And when you look back in history, I want you guys to comment, please, because if I don't understand, if I don't know, I would love to learn. I can't think of any successful matriarchal society in history that wasn't quickly destroyed or quickly overruled by a patriarchy. Now, why is this? Because a patriarchy is competitive, and a patriarchy is strong, and a patriarchy is a system that was meant to work from the beginning. So I can't think of any successful matriarchies, probably because they weren't around long enough to be in history books. There's no monuments, there's no history on them, because they weren't able to sustain themselves for very long before they got overthrown by a patriarchy. And that's not a bad thing. Men are supposed to be in leader roles. Women are not supposed to be in those same roles. Women are great, are absolutely fantastic for certain things that men cannot do.
Now I know why she's not getting views. Listen, it all makes sense now. It all makes sense now. You can't talk like this. YouTube is not a fan of this. I guarantee you she's on the naughty list.
Men cannot grow a baby in their uterus. They don't have a uterus to grow a baby in. We cannot uphold society. The only reason feminism even is allowed to exist in the modern day world is because strong men back the belief. If it weren't for men, true, we wouldn't have the opportunity to have that belief.
Here comes a strong man walking up behind her. Look at him.
The same modern day feminists who hate men, who want to be independent, want to be a boss babe, want to be all this stuff. And I'm not hating completely on these things. I'm talking general terms, like I said in my last video. If you can't understand I'm talking in general terms here, you really need to understand that. I'm not speaking in total. So this whole culture and this idea of I don't need no man isn't completely insane, because men are the only reason you're even allowed to have these opinions today. The only reason I'm allowed to sit here and make this YouTube video is because some men somewhere fought for my right to be able to do this. And then modern day feminists are going to go right back around and disrespect the men of the society that allow them to have this comfortable lifestyle, drive on the roads, go into the buildings that they have work at, have these houses to raise families in. Well, feminists don't really raise families anyway, and if they do, they're not really raising them. They're just repeating media slop into their children's ears. Anyways, back to the point of the video is that it really is one of the most damaging psyops in human history, and it has completely ripped apart the beauty of the human cycle and the way that it was built to be from the beginning. And it was supposed to be this beautiful picture and beautiful story. But again, feminism has really just ripped that apart. Ripped it apart. He who has a why to live can bear almost any how. That's a quote from Nietzsche's book, Twilight of the Idols. It's one of my favorite quotes because it really ties into this topic today, actually, because feminism stripped the core meaning of what it is to be a woman. The core meaning. It took out the femininity of a woman And it tried to replace that femininity with independence, which is a completely masculine framework of mind. I don't want to say this in the wrong way, because I am being independent right now, making this video. I'm allowed to have a phone. I'm allowed to talk my thoughts. But if you understand what I'm talking about in this entire video, you'll understand what I mean when I say that. They took away the femininity of the woman, and they said, here, this is better instead, and they replaced it with masculinity, basically. And that quote by Nietzsche, it really, in my opinion, is beautifully applied to this situation. Before feminism was corrupting the minds of most women, in this day, modern women, there was a why for a woman. And that why was simple, and that why was fulfilling, and that why was all they needed. They didn't need more. They didn't seek more. There wasn't this hustle culture.
Let me take a second to get some of you guys in the chat. I haven't paid any attention to the chat, so we'll do that for a minute, and we'll let her carry on. Ginger says, go have some babies and be quiet. Huh? Peter says, I've subbed to her as well. Yeah, it seems like she's pretty solid. Pretty solid content, you know, for a woman. What else we got here? Sounding more and more like an AI channel. I'm assuming you're talking about her. I don't think this is AI. I think she's kind of just trying to appeal to the like based men, the men that are fed up with this. She's probably trying to appeal to them to some degree, of course. But whatever, man. I still respect her for that. Shit, it could be worse. A lot better than what I see around my area, I'll tell you that. I mean, this sounds like a heavenly woman to be around compared to the purple-haired, 8 nose rings, 6 prescription women that I meet around my area. Shit. Peter says, this young woman is brilliant. We need more like her. Please, God. Yeah, I mean, what she's saying is not even... It's funny that the way this woman's talking is even considered so magnificent to the average man, because now the toxicity has moved so far. Like the toxicity meter is like off the charts now. So even a woman that's maybe kind of grifting, she's probably grifting to some degree. Let's be fair. Like, I'm not saying to be mean. God bless her for making these videos. But as a woman, you know, if you're coming online, like a real tradcon woman's not going to be doing this. And I'm not saying this to hate her. I'm just pointing out the obvious. A real tradcon woman isn't going to be on social media. She's not going to be on YouTube posting videos for fame and for likes and for money. That's just the truth. A real tradcom woman's going to be walking, talking, acting, and being tradcom. But whatever, bro. Like, it's 2026. I'm going to give respect to her for speaking the things that I respect. And Scam God says she's going to say exactly what men like you want to hear. Then leave with 10 years later. Y'all think you're small brains only. Yeah. I'm not getting played by this woman. Don't worry, my man. I'm not going to fall in love with her. It's all right. Calm down. Calm down. Not all of us wake up hating every woman that ever existed. I've had a lot of beautiful women in my life. I got a lot of beautiful women that are in my inbox right now. It's all right. There'll be one out there for you someday. Men and women divide and conquer. Yeah, I mean, divide and conquer, that's going on everywhere, in every point of all of our lives. Ginger says she's waking up. That is a start. Absolutely. That's exactly what I'm saying, too. Well said. And hopefully more women popularizing common sense like this, you know, as much as it's hypocritical to praise somebody that's on YouTube chasing views, at least she's spewing some sanity, right? So let's take the small win there. Scam God says, I am a woman. Okay, my apologies. To all of these channels that don't have a face, it's just like a letter. I don't know what I'm dealing with. And you guys can remember something. I get a lot of haters. So I assume the worst in a lot of people. Anyway, let me get back to the video. And see what she's talking about.
If that makes sense. There wasn't this soullessness, because a woman had a why, and her why was to be a wife, to be a mom.
And a mother, yep.
To create, to enjoy, to be happy.
Which is one of the most beautiful things in the world. The fact that I see and hear so many women that make fun of and put down motherhood and children and family, that is just crazy to me. That is crazy to me, how many women that I see and hear on a daily basis who make fun of motherhood, and they make fun of family, and they make fun of children. That'll never stop blowing my mind.
And feminism, modern day feminism, has really stripped happiness, genuine happiness, from women.
Agreed.
Because you can't sit here and look me in the face as a OnlyFans creator or as a multi-million-dollar company CEO woman and tell me that you are genuinely fulfilled in your heart just by doing that. I have owned my own business. I have owned my own successful business. I have owned multiple businesses. I have been there and I have done that, and I have
How old is she? My God.
experience in that world. And I'm not going to sit here and cap to you guys. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I felt good in those years knowing that I was capable of creating that income independently. I felt good knowing.
Bye from UK. Who's that over there? Jacqueline, what's up? Thank you from the UK. You got to go? I don't blame you. I wouldn't stick around some scummy roofer in a live stream like this either. Just kidding. Thank you for being here.
That I did that. That I was smart enough that I could compete. But I will tell you, looking back in that time of my life, I wasn't trying to seek to serve God. I was trying to seek to serve myself. And I am a Christian, and I believe that it is my job to serve God. And I know I wasn't making him happy when I was seeking after these material things. And I felt something was missing during those times. Even though it did feel good to be able to achieve these things and to attain my material possessions on my own, there was something missing. I was being very masculine. I was not being the full version of myself. I was not bettering myself. Now that I have really detoxed and stepped out of that mindset and reset it and put my eyes on what really matters, which is my family and my husband and my family's future, and even my own mindset, I should always be self-analyzing and bettering myself for the people around me that I love. I need to be a better example. I need to be a better wife. I need to be a better daughter. I need to be a better mother. I need to be a better person for maybe the other lady that's watching.
To be fair, to be the most optimized, amazing mother and wife, yeah, probably won't be spending much time on YouTube. But again, I'm not trying to hate, because I actually respect a woman that will speak this way in a world that will straight up dogpile a woman for thinking and talking this way. So I'm poking fun a little bit, talking crap, but still, there's a level of respect that needs to be given to this woman for making videos like this, to at least try to popularize old-fashioned, traditional common sense to some degree.
Maybe there's another young lady that knows me in real life that I don't even have a clue who she is, but she sees me and she sees that I am different from the crowd, from the average, from the medium, from the middle. That is enough for me. That fulfills me. Knowing that when it's time for me to raise my kids in the right way with morals, knowing that I will be able to do that because I have done the work myself to separate myself from the soulless mindset that is modern day feminism, that is enough for me, and I am fulfilled because I know I am doing what I am called to do. It's not easy even for someone like me who thinks about these things. It's not easy to die to myself, if that makes sense. It's not easy to resist the modern day encouragement to be self-sufficient, and I need to have a backup plan, and I need to be an independent woman, and this and that. It's not easy to mute that out of my ears when that's all I'm hearing.
But the problem with that as well is that we now live in a world where one income is never enough. One income is literally never enough. So, I mean, good luck having the TradCon life. Like, good luck having the Leave It to Beaver Wonder Years life. I don't know. How much money you got to make? I'm in Seattle, like I always say. I'm in Seattle, bro. Good luck making enough money with one income to have that beautiful family with the normal house and white picket fence and the puppy in the yard and the kids on the tire swing. Good luck affording that on one income. Good luck, bud. That's all I'm going to say.
It's not easy to leave that all in the past when I had a taste of success in my past. It's not easy to do that. But it's not going to be easy the more time goes on and the more the earth degenerates, basically. It's not going to be easy to be doing the right thing.
Yeah, I just caught her looking in her rearview mirror at those Chads walking by. I'm telling your husband. I'm going to show your husband that clip of you Googling those Chads walking by. Busted. I'm just kidding.
You know, the path to heaven is narrow. The path to hell is wide. It's interesting how these things from so far long ago still apply to this day. And if anything, they're shining more true than ever before. You can really feel it. And every time I feel that resistance of society in the direction that I'm going, it kind of just reaffirms me, and I have more confidence, and I have more, reassurance, like I said, that I'm doing the right thing for my future family, for my future generation. Feminism is a complete scam anyways. Well, we already know that, but I just thought about this. Most modern day feminists won't ever get married, won't ever have kids, and their idea and their belief of feminism will die with their generation because they will have no children to indoctrinate.
But they will keep the pharmaceutical company paid. They will keep the pharmaceutical industry paid. We have got and I say this all the time now with millennials and younger, Big Pharma is just excited, I bet. I mean, with all of the chemtrail planes, all the conspiracies we talk about for fun, with the poisoning of toxic garbage food that we eat, the mental health issues that we're having from our environments and what we're seeing and consuming, whether that be food or entertainment, with the social engineering to make us think and feel certain ways. Big Pharma's just sitting back laughing. Like even men's hormone health. I mean, I'm meeting and talking to younger and younger men that have horrible blood work when it comes to like their hormones. I mean, they're going to have no choice but to see a doctor for that too, it looks like. And now with feminism, brainwashing so many women into living lives that are destined to be extremely depressed and miserable. I know people get mad when you say that, but I've seen it. I'm almost 40, bro. I'll be 40 in a few months. I've seen it. I'm telling you. And we're going to have just swaths of people lining up to get their prescriptions filled. And I mean, I bet you if you want to go down the conspiracy rabbit holes, that's one that I think people should start exploring. Like that's one everybody should start thinking about. How much of this is designed just to create a world full of customers for Big Pharma in whatever way. Optimizing our health, physically, mentally, emotionally. I mean, they'd do it spiritually if they had a way to do it. Maybe they're working on that.
With that belief, it's such a scam, it's such a psyop, and it's really a really damaging psyop. Such a humorous example of feminism and how much of a psyop it really is I always like to think about if you were on a ship with men and women all mixed together, feminists, masculine men, all together on a ship, and you're sailing and you crash into an island. You'll see how quickly the men resort into their manly repairing, building, hunting instincts, and how fast those feminists resort into homemaking and taking care of the kids, etc., cooking.
There ain't going to be no kids if it's a boat full of feminists. But I get what she's saying.
It's so funny how when you take everything away, all of these privileges away, and you strip it down to the bare necessities, how fast women and men, I'm not saying men are out of their place that much in society right now, but how fast women, feminists, and men will go right back into their respective roles. It's so humorous to me. It's just so... Humorous is not a right word. Sad to me, I should say. Let's talk about abortion. Uh-oh. You think that killing your own offspring is freedom? I'm probably not even going to say a new opinion here, but I need to talk about this because this is completely evil and degenerate and insane that...
I'm surprised this video is even still up. How dare you speak bad about aborting? About aborting them daggone kids. How dare you speak bad about that? YouTube doesn't stand for that. I'm surprised this video is even standing.
You as a woman think that murdering a baby is freedom. is empowerment.
No, what it is, it's a get out of jail free card. That's what it is. Most women, and you can make whatever argument you want for why you love abortion so much. At the end of the day, again, from my life's experience at 40 years old, almost, and when I say almost, that's being conservative. Almost every single woman that I've ever met who is extremely supportive of abortion, without question, they all just use it as birth control. That's what it is. They use it for the ability to bump uglies with whatever random guy they want. And at the end of the day, it's the ultimate safety net for no repercussions when it comes to my bad choices and bad decisions, or no repercussions for the potential bad decisions I'm going to make. That's what it is. You're never going to convince me otherwise, so don't even type it in the chat. Don't super chat. You can super chat me $100 to tell me your greatest argument as to why abortion is amazing. I'm not going to listen. I'm hardened. I'm a hard-headed, short-sighted, ignorant, low IQ baboon. So don't even waste your time.
That is insane to me. They tricked you into thinking that it was powerful to murder your own baby in your stomach.
Yep.
That's what they tricked you into believing. They tricked you into believing that it was empowerment to sleep with as many men as you want without the consequences of that action.
Yep.
Sleeping with as many men as you want is not empowerment. If anything, it strips away your value. It actually destroys your psyche, because the more people you sleep with as a woman, the less you are able to bond in the future, resulting in either divorce or never getting married. You are sabotaging yourself. You are actively sabotaging yourself.
And men win when you're a fan of hookups. Make no mistake, men win. So keep that in mind, ladies.
And then if something bad happens, you don't take responsibility for it. You murder your own unborn baby. You murder an innocent life. But then you cry on social media about things happening overseas. How many babies have you killed in the past 5 years?
Yeah, that's true.
Because of your irresponsible decisions. I don't even want to have to say this, but I know I have to, because there's going to be someone in the comments. I'm not talking about different situations here. I'm talking about the irresponsible woman. The woman that it is her fault because she didn't care, or she wanted to be empowered and independent, so she did what she wanted to do, and then she took care of the problems because she has the freedom to do so. Just because you have the freedom to go jump off of a cliff, are you going to do it? No. There is no freedom in being tricked by a man. In that feminist movement you think that you're so free to have and so free to support, you were just tricked by a man. You were just tricked by another foundation.
I just looked at my screen as I got off work and caught a glimpse of myself. My face is all dirty and stuff. What a weird live stream.
A long time ago, and you never questioned it. And you still don't question it, and you just fall right into the trap. And you are playing into the hands of filthy rich men every day, and you don't question it. So how free are you really? How free are you? The moment there's a shooter in a grocery store, who are you hoping for? A male police officer, a male security guard. You can look it up on the internet right now. If you ever see some type of public assassination attempt, and there's female police officers or security guards or whatever it may be, who are the ones hiding? The women. The men are going up there to protect whoever it is that's about to get assassinated.
That's debatable in 2026. Come to Seattle. Yeah, the men in my area are hardly men, but we'll save that for another video.
The men are the ones who have fought and died for us to be able to even make a YouTube video right now. But yet modern day feminists can't even respect a man. And I'm not here trying to please men with my video. I'm here trying to have a voice to talk to the women who are too stubborn to listen to anybody else. Because barely any women are talking about this. There's only a handful of women that are actually talking about the truth and talking about the reality behind these psyops. And I'm here to do that. I don't care how much hate I get for it, because I genuinely believe this is the correct and the right thing to do for society. If I sound arrogant, if I sound passionate, if I sound rude in this video, I am just imagining and I am just remembering all of the hateful, disgusting videos I have seen made by feminists. So my tone should be no issue right now for a feminist watching this video. Because I am speaking the same way you speak out against men. I am speaking the same way you speak in favor of your psyop belief.
I'm out of
And I
Coke
am a
Zero.
woman. And if you are a feminist, you believe that I have the right to my own opinion. So you can't be too mad, can you?
Interesting stuff. I don't know. What do you guys think of her? What do you think of her? Karen or Kaylin? Marissa. I think a pretty good channel from what I've seen. From what I've seen, what else is YouTube going to show me today? What else can we jump into here? Racist tranny hurls racist slurs at me in Seattle. It's only 50 seconds, but that should be good. Look at this. It's the same woman. I regret my entire life. That video got some views. Our boy Anton Daniels. He's one of the goats of YouTube. Look at it, Spiro. Look at this low life. What a scumbag. His video's doing really well. Go check that video out. That's my boy right there. We got Jake Monroe. He's a hated man. He's a controversial figure, but I enjoy Jake Monroe, quite frankly. What else we got here? Some Jordan Peterson. That's always good. Jesse on Fire. Do you guys watch Jesse on Fire? That's another good channel. Haven't seen much of his stuff in a long time, though. Our boy Myron. Exposed 304, who wants to reset her body from 3 days ago. I haven't caught that video. Let's see. Myron might get me in trouble reacting to his videos, right? I'm just kidding. Let's check this out. I haven't got to see this.
And so I'm like,
it's our boy Clav.
my body.
What do you mean by that?
Resetting my body, like I made out with too many people.
And what else?
And what else? Well, have fun.
She sounds like a church girl. I'm done having fun and I'm going to reset my body. I'm resetting it. And I'm not trying to disrespect church or religion at all. I'm just vulgar blue-collar guy, so I'm going to make my jokes. If you don't like that, this ain't the channel for you. But she sounds like a church girl, a modern-day church girl. I'm going to reset my body.
Fun. When everyone say, I want to have fun, that always entails other men. Anytime a female says, oh, we just want to go have fun, we just want to have fun, I had some fun, that always has to deal with other men. So when they say just having fun or girls want to have fun, that always means being...
Damn it.
We can react to this thing. This thing's kind of crazy here, man. I'll go ahead and play the full clip for you guys as always.
Well, if it's meant to be, you'll wait.
And then we'll go ahead and react to it after that, okay?
If it's meant to be, you'll wait. Yeah. You trying to see,
What do you mean by restore your body, though?
like, I was
So the caption is that this girl basically says she needs a break for her body, okay? So let's see what that means exactly.
a part of a lot of... Well, if it's meant to be, you'll wait. Yeah. You trying to see,
What do you mean by restore your body, though?
like, I was a part of a lot of crazy stuff in the past.
I keep seeing in my chat people putting down religion. Religion control system. Religion creates mental illness. Wrong. Christ is king, and I mean that. Religion is what we need more of, and atheism is narcissism, in my opinion. So, anyway, just want to be clear on that.
Few weeks, and so I'm like resetting my body.
What do you mean by that?
Resetting my body, like I made out with too many people.
And what else?
We got our first super chat of the night. Our boy, Praise the Dawn. I appreciate you. He says, Myron's the GOAT. Yeah, I'll be honest with you guys. Like him, love him, or hate him. Myron Gaines grinds, man. And of course, I don't agree with everything he says all the time. But he is an intelligent guy. There are a lot of gold nuggets in his content. I think he's fair. He's hard on everybody. He says controversial stuff, but I think he says it about everyone. And he grinds. Bro, I don't know where. I know he lives on the East Coast. I think he lives in Florida. But I have gone on my phone before I go to bed, and I'll see that he's online streaming. I don't know how long this guy's streaming, but I know for a fact he gets a lot more hate and drama thrust upon him than I do. And it is exhausting. So I don't know how he manages it. I don't know how he keeps putting one foot in front of the other. But the dude is a beast. And thank you again for the super chat. Praise the Dawn. That means a lot to me. That's always nice when someone goes out of their way to support you in that way.
And what else? Well, have fun. I like to.
Oh, send her my way. Kidding.
You like to.
How many people does that entail?
Remember, before she gives this number, boys, you can probably double or triple it. I'm just saying. So whatever number she gives when he's asking this body count, just assume it's at least twice, if not 3 times, what she's saying. Sorry, ladies, but it tends to be the truth.
It depends on the energy.
No, like how many people are we talking about?
How many? No, it's nothing crazy.
Huh.
What does nothing crazy mean?
Nothing crazy. It's all good. Nothing crazy. I have a secret life. Like a secret life off camera.
Yeah, good move. Good move on Clav to just walk away because you already know. When he asks the question, that pause that she has as she's like calculating in her mind, she's trying to come up with a number because she knows, her subconscious brain knows the number that's in the front of her mind cannot be revealed, because if that is revealed, he's sure to walk away. But the stuttering that she did, the pausing that she did, the stopping and thinking that she did told Clav immediately, whatever number she gives me is probably a lie. But again, this is probably any woman that you see at a nightclub or some hoochie mama event like this. So, I mean, looking for women at a nightclub to date or marry, or even a dating app for that matter. I've said this many times. Looking for a woman to date on a dating app or at a nightclub is like car shopping in a junkyard. And that is not an overstatement. That analogy is pretty accurate in my opinion.
Okay, let's play that back again. Let's decode the womanese, guys, because lots of women
Womanese.
don't. They never really mean what they say or say what they mean, right?
Get your notepads out, boys. Myron is about to spit some knowledge and take notes so you can wake up tomorrow a better man than you were today, a smarter man than you were today. Myron's going to give it to you bluntly, so take notes.
They just like say things and hope that you don't understand better. So, yeah, let's go here.
Well, if it's meant to be, you'll wait. Yeah.
Okay, if it's meant to be, you'll wait. Girls say this shit all the time, if it's meant to be, whatever. This is what I like to call female cope a lot of the times, where they know they f***ed up, they know they might not qualify for something, or they kind of shot themselves in the foot about something. So what they'll say is they'll say dumb shit like, oh, if it's not meant to be, right? Like, I've noticed with they have this like uncanny ability to leave everything to the divine, right? It's like no accountability. I'm just going to leave it up to the divine.
I got to move myself real quick because Myron has moved himself to the bottom, so I don't want to take up his spotlight here. Let's let him carry on.
If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If this guy doesn't like me the way that I am, then he's not the guy. And it's like, they always look at everything as like the world needs to shape itself around them, okay? They don't need to self-improve. They don't need to get better. It's, I'm going to stay the way that I am, and he's just simply not right for me.
That comes from the Disney bullshit, though, quite frankly. Most of it comes from the Disney nonsense. It's because a lot of these women think that way. They are just inherently narcissistic, or they've become a narcissist because of the propaganda machine, you know, the Disney propaganda and the acceptance and promotion of degenerate, toxic, trashy behavior. It just creates that warped mind, quite frankly.
I don't know if you guys have caught on to this. This is something that I've noticed that's extremely prevalent with modern women, is they will behave in a certain way. That behavior doesn't put them in a position that they want to be in, is not conducive to the results they want. Instead of changing their said behavior, they'll say, you know what? He's just not the one for me. I'm going to continue doing what I need to do or what I want to do, and I will not change. Let me give you guys an example because you guys really understand the lunacy that is nature. If you were to say, right, yo, I want 2 baddies that are always around me, nice, you know, nice face, nice, so all this crap, right? I want 2 girlfriends, super hot twin sisters, right? That's what I'm looking for. And then someone tells you, well, you better get some money and get successful. You say, nah, if I got to do all that, they're just not the one for me, you know? Like, this is literally their mindset, right? Like, you see how crazy that sounds? Yo, I want 2 bad chicks that will let me do whatever I want. They're only loyal to me. They don't deal with anyone else. I'm the only guy that they talk to. I'm the man, right?
We got another super chat from our boy Praise the Dawn. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. $5. He says, by the time they're 21, their notch count is 50 plus. They start out in high school and never change. They never grow up. They just grow old. Again, thank you for the super chat, brother. I do appreciate the support. That helps a lot, and that means a lot to me. And what he just said is facts. And I'll go a step further. Like I say this all the time. Let me jump to a different camera real quick. I say this all the time. I hear from young men daily who tell me things that they see and hear in like middle school, bro. We're not even talking high school and college yet, where the young women are giggling and laughing and looking at and showing pictures and videos from the corn movies, just toxic, filthy, degenerate, extreme garbage. They're seeing that stuff at younger and younger ages. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, I would make the argument, or I think it's at least safe to make the argument, that the young women that are going down those rabbit holes and being exposed to that toxic garbage, they're already cooked long before body count can do damage to their minds. The fact that they are consuming that toxic corn world garbage at younger and younger ages, that is doing irreversible damage on their ability to respect a man and think highly of a man, because those said extremes are just moving the goalpost more and more. The fact that everybody jokes about that and accepts that, it's doing irreversible damage, man. I will make that argument until I'm blue in the face. Anyway, Myron, carry on.
And I still could go ahead and get other. Okay, well, you better, get your money up, get in the gym, increase your sexual market value. You can do it, but it's going to take a little bit of work. Nah, bro. Nah. I'm going to continue to live with my mom, make $30K per year. I'm not going to go to the gym. I'm him.
Order pizza. Add order pizza every night to that list, and it sounds like a damn good life to me. Just kidding.
I'm him. These better recognize. Like what? What? We would all laugh at him. Could you imagine some idiot goes on TikTok? Nigga works for Domino's Pizza or some shit. He's a nigga that answers the phone. You want the 555, right? Making 20, 30K per year, out of shape, dirty, dingy. He says, but I want two bad. He gets on TikTok. Yo, I deserve this, man. I deserve this. I need these girls. We don't.
He just named me perfectly. Dirty, dingy, just got off work, sitting there running my big mouth. This is depressing.
Laugh at him. Like what? Well, you could get them. You just got to get your shit together. Nah, if they're not going to take me the way that I am, then they're not for me.
He's right, though.
It's like they're saying, I want to be a millionaire, but I don't want to actually have the 1 million. Like what? I want to be a millionaire, but I don't need to have the 1 million. What? That is the logic that employ, chat. I know you guys are like, what the f? Yes, this is how they think. This is literally how they think. And the thing that's very troubling with this, right, with this way of thinking, the thing that's the most troubling about this is that a significant amount of them think this way. That's the scary part. It's like a girl will be rude, obnoxious, a 304, high body count, all these like red flags, but they'll still keep their standards high. And when I tell them, look, the guy that you're looking for is expecting this, they say, oh, well, then he's not for me.
Bro, I'll be honest. Most women think that way. Like a lot of people don't realize that most women today really think they are like the prize of all prizes. And I know most channels like mine, we talk about this stuff. We make jokes about that. We point that out. But I still think a majority of people just think that saying lines like that are just fluff, being edgy, trying to get attention. No. Any guy who has had a lot of experience with women, or he makes it a point to talk to other men and invest his time researching the dating market and how it is for people and how women think and how they talk, they will all tell you the same thing, that women today, no matter how old they are, no matter how out of shape they are, no matter what kind of a past that they have, the bags that they have, they don't care how many kids they have with how many guys. They don't give a damn how different they look with and without their makeup and their push-up bras and their fake hair and their fake nails and their fake eyelashes and the waist trainers and the ass sculpting pants, and the list goes on and on. They don't care how drastically different they look without that stuff. They all think that they are the prize, and they all think that hardly any guy is on their level. I'm not saying that to be edgy. I'm not saying that to be ridiculous. That is the truth, and it is just, it's laughably ridiculous. It's laughably ridiculous. And Myron's telling you guys, he's pointing out the hypocrisy of how silly it is that women think this way by talking about a scenario in which a man would act similarly and he'd get made fun of, or everyone would tell him that he's crazy. But I'll be honest, man, what he's saying is true.
Like what? It's like a gross negligence of where they stand. You get what I'm saying? It's like a level of delusion that I've never heard before, that I've never seen. It's incredible. It's actually, guys, it's like the seventh wonder of the world, because after talking to so many different, this is how a lot of them feel, unfortunately. It's insane. It's insane. It actually is. They can meet their dream guy. He marks all the things that they want, right? And they'll have some kind of bad habit or do some dumb shit. He'll leave, and instead of improving on that bad habit, they'll say, well, he just wasn't the one for me, and not improve the bad habit.
Yep. See it all the time.
And you want to know why they want to improve the bad habit? Because when they go on TikTok, like they always do, and complain in the car, like they always do, about men or dudes being boys or being losers or immature, whatever, what's going to happen is this. They'll make the video, complain about the guy, and then there'll be thousands of comments, thousands, saying, you did nothing wrong, you're perfect the way that you are, never changed for a man. If he can't handle you at your worst, he doesn't deserve you at your best. All kinds of propaganda bullshit, bro.
And a lot of that will be from men. Might I add, a lot of that will be from the men who are trying to be the simpy guy that thinks he's going to get the sympathy screw. We got another super chat from our boy, Praise the Dawn. Man, this guy's a baller over here. Thank you, brother. He says, and they're all mid, and I'm being nice with that ranking. They all walk around with their nose in the air, thinking their ish doesn't stink. Thank you for the $5, my man. I do appreciate that. And what he just said is absolutely facts. I see that all the time, and it goes exactly into what I said and what Myron's saying right here. Most of these women truly think that they are royalty. They think they are out of every guy's league. It doesn't matter what they look like. It doesn't matter their behavior. It doesn't matter their past, their baggage, their bad habits. None of it matters. They are all just narcissistically brainwashed into thinking that they are royalty. And it pains me to say that. And it pains me to say that that road that most of them are on only leads to sadness. It does. Because they're going to end up alone with a crazy body count and just a bunch of horror stories from toxic men. That's what's going to happen to most of them. And unfortunately, they don't want to listen when someone like me or someone like Myron or anybody for that matter tries to point it out. They just don't want to listen. So there's nothing you can do.
It's like they do all the same shit. And since they have the hive mind and they all do the same shit, what ends up happening is they all reaffirm each other's delusion. Does that make sense, chat? They reaffirm each other's delusion. They reaffirm each other's thoughts of being 304s. They reaffirm everyone's poor behavior. The reason why accountability is kryptonite is because we understand that if you hold one accountable, the rest of them are susceptible to accountability too. So what they do is they will shield each other in self-preservation. I'll say that again for you guys. This is like real talk, guys. The reason why women hate accountability so much is because they realize that if you hold one accountable, you're going to have to hold all of them accountable because they all do the same shit. Does that make sense? They're not as unique and as special as you guys think they are. They all do the same dumb shit or have the same general hobbies or behaviors, okay? Do not believe the propaganda when they say, I'm unique, I'm special, blah, blah. A lot of these have the same goddamn programming.
Which pop culture tells them to have, might I add. I've said it 1,000 times. Women are followers. They just care about what pop culture tells them they should care about. They want to look, they want to act, they want to be the way that their social media or their music or their whatever that they're interested in tells them they need to think, feel, and be. They want to date the guys who look like the guys that popular culture tells them they should want. They're followers, man. They're followers, and it's sad.
Now, I went really deep here into the psychology of accountability, but let's go ahead and bring it back a little bit. This comes back to, remember, this whole clip started because we're breaking down this clip right here with this girl saying what she was saying. She said, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be, whatever. This is, like I said before, quintessential female thought process, female behavior, female delusion. Instead of becoming better Instead of improving my situation, I would rather, right? I would rather just say, you know what? He's just not the one for me. Let me cope and find some type of excuse, right? As to why I'm not getting what I'm supposed to be getting or what I want to get. And I'll use the ruse of divine intervention to do it. And they'll say dumb shit like, it's just not meant to be or he's not the one for me. And it's incredible that they do this because I've never seen men actually employ this, right? Or when men do employ it, we just make fun of them and say, no, you're just stupid. Like I gave you the example before. A man would never dare say, I want to be a millionaire without having a million. Like what? You're a nigga. A man would never say, I want 2 bad super hot virgins and I can have an open relationship and do what I want. And then someone tells him, okay, bro, well, you got to get some money. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to continue to be a brokey. I'm going to continue to be I'm going to live with my mom. And I'm going to keep working at Domino's. I'm going to get it anyway. And if those don't want me, that's on them, right? Like most guys are not going to have that level of delusion because we don't.
I'm going to be honest, bro. A lot of those guys are getting a lot of these women. These women are so brainwashed by the garbage pop culture that, I mean, a lot of women, they find that guy appealing. They find that bum that has no drive, no ambition, no goals, no character, no respect, no integrity. They find that guy more appealing than the guy that other men respect. Sadly, I'm seeing a lot of that too. That's on the rise like crazy too. Nobody's talking about that. Just how bad women's taste has become according to the pop culture that they follow.
Have the privilege of being delusional. We simply don't. Men do not have the privilege of being delusional because if we don't perform, there's consequence to that shit. There's constant reminders that we're not performing. There's constant reminders that we're underperforming, right? People don't want to be with you. Your friends don't respect you. People don't want to hang out with you. You know, one of the benefits of being a man is you curate your environment based on your productivity. If you're a guy and you go out there and you work really hard and you make shit happen, right? And you're dependable and you're a good guy and everything else like that, like you will build a network of people that are good. You will get respect from your peers. You will get the attention of more attractive women. You will become a guy that other guys want to be and other want to be with. But the caveat to that is you have to work at it. And throughout the process, you're going to be largely ignored. You're going to be ostracized. You're not going to get things given to you. But the beauty is that you're going to understand what hard work is and you're going to be able to appreciate that. I mean, the thing that they suffer from is that they never get any real feedback. I'll say that again. Never really get any real feedback, chat. You know, I have to be a little bit fair here. They're delusional because reality allows them, because society allows them to be delusional with no consequence.
Of course, and I will go a step further and say that is intentional. If you try to hold them accountable, if you try to call out their bad behavior, you are dogpiled, you are censored, you are silenced. Your channel gets removed, you lose your job. I mean, we have the big machine, the propaganda machine has pushed that narrative for so long that most guys are just afraid to speak up. They're afraid to speak up because it goes against, reality goes against the feminist viewpoints and the feminist opinions and the feminist narrative. The reality that Myron's talking about, the realities that he's discussing, they go against the feminist narrative.
Typically don't get woken up or typically don't realize things until it's too late. Simps allow it, society allows it, we coddle it. We infantilize them from their own decisions and behaviors. You know, they're able to enjoy the proverbial double dip that I've told you guys about before. Where on one hand, they're able to behave and have all the same authority of a man while simultaneously being treated like a child and being treated like a lady. So they're able to enjoy the benefits of chivalry. So they're able to operate in this, you know, strange middle ground where they get the best of both worlds. Though that is great for them, it also sucks because they never get a real barometer of where they stand. So that is why some of these are delusional. And they reaffirm each other's delusions. They reaffirm each other's delusions, which is like the perpetual L.
What do you mean by restore your body, though?
Like,
Okay, so at this point, she's realizing, okay, what's going on in her mind right now is she knows exactly what Clev is asking. What do you mean restore your body? Now she realized,
Busted.
okay, this is an attractive guy. He doesn't know me like that. And you can see she's thinking about how she's going to manufacture her response, okay? Gentlemen, understand this. Women don't mean what they say or say what they mean a lot of the times. It's very difficult for them to speak in a manner that is clear, concise, and direct. They are indirect speakers and communicators, okay? There's a multitude of reasons for this, but I'll give you the simplest one. Women are terrified of ostracization. Do you get that, chat? Back in the day, we were running around with spears and shit like that and hunter-gatherers or whatever, and relied upon men for security, provisioning, and resources. women understood that they're only able to really coexist and survive when they are surrounded by other human beings. They cannot survive on their own.
Hold on, I keep moving my screen because Myron's jumping all over the place here. He's at the bottom, he's at the top.
Okay? They're not strong enough, okay, to protect themselves, gather enough calories to feed themselves, and most importantly, they're definitely not able to do this while pregnant by themselves when they're the most vulnerable. So a woman's biggest fear, okay, since the beginning of human history has been ostracization from the tribe. Ostracization from the tribe, or being exiled, in other words, for some of you guys that don't read often or read for all the...
Hello, monkeys.
Ostracization or exile from the tribe pretty much meant certain death. So this is a huge fear of theirs. So what ended up learning how to do was, I need to be able to communicate in a way where I'm conveying something across, but it's still fairly ambiguous, where there's room for it to be interpreted another way, or it gives me the latitude to correct them if they misinterpret it in a manner that I dislike, okay? I'll give you an example. To Clav here, I need to restore my body, right? For someone like him that she's trying to attract, she's going to say, oh, well, you know, I was not sleeping much, I was working a lot, blah, blah, blah. Keep it like that. But to her best friend, oh yeah, I was getting by a bunch of Nigerians. See what I did there? She took this ambiguous explanation, and to the party that she was attracted to, she watered it down, made it not look as bad. But to her real friend, she called it what it is. This is how we communicate, chat. This is why they communicate in that way. And again, bringing it back to the biology here, they communicate in this fashion to self-preserve. Because again, being exiled from the tribe means certain death. So women had to find a way to be able to communicate in a manner that's clear enough for you to kind of come to your own conclusion, but at the same time ambiguous enough where they can correct you if they don't like the conclusion you came to. See what I did there? This is very important that you guys understand this shit, man. Very important that y'all understand this shit. You communicate significantly differently to men that they're attracted to versus simps, suckers, friends, their female friends, etc. The less of a sexual viability you are, the more honest they'll be. I'm going to say that again, okay? So you guys really get this shit. The less of a sexual option you are, the more honest they can afford to be. The more of a sexual option you are for any type of mating, the more they're going to lie or hide things. Because again, it comes back to the biology. I don't want to be exiled by the tribe. If I'm exiled by the tribe, I am cooked. So this has been kind of like a self-defense mechanism for many women to preserve. Communicate mysteriously, especially to men that you're attracted to. And since most men are idiots and can't read between the lines and don't have the social acuity like a female does, right? A lot of guys misinterpret or don't really understand what she's saying and just let it keep pushing. And that's
one of the good things that I've seen with how toxic popular culture is and how much we've normalized the degeneracy and how feminism has become so normalized and adopted by so many women. I'm noticing this trend of young women who are not afraid to tell the truth. Like what he's saying is very real, but I'm noticing a trend, at least in my area, of young women who actually brag about stuff that turns guys off. And they're surprised when guys are turned off. They're actually kind of shocked when a guy they're talking to in hopes of potentially dating, they're kind of shocked when he's appalled at what she said. Or they're turned off by what she said. I'm noticing that a lot. So I guess that's one of the benefits of so many women that are brainwashed by feminism and the woke left toxicity is that they're not realizing that what they're saying is a turnoff or trashy or to be shamed. They're so used to operating with impunity, saying and doing and being whatever they want, no matter how trashy or degenerate or toxic that it is. They're so used to the acceptance of that they're no longer assuming they're going to be shamed or assuming that they're going to be judged. They think that it's all hunky-dory. It's all good in the hood, as the kids say.
Their benefit, that's exactly what they want. That's exactly what they want. That's why it's so important for you guys to translate, to understand womanese. Because what she says is not what she means most of the time. There's very few people that shoot straight and speak directly with, okay? And if you're a guy that she's attracted to, it's probably not going to be you. So it's very important that you understand how to identify womanese so you can read between the lines and not put yourself in a terrible situation where you're committing to a girl that quite frankly never deserved the commitment in the first place had you understood or known what she was really trying to say to you. But you were too stupid, too much of a Neanderthal to understand. And clean up on this all the time, by the way. I would argue 95% of men plus don't properly understand how we communicate. They don't understand what she really means when she says things. And then again, the other reason too why a lot of you guys don't understand is, keep in mind, by the time a girl's like 25 years old, guys, she's spoken to thousands upon thousands upon thousands of men. Whether some weirdo guy comes up to her when she's at the grocery store, or some guy approaches her at the gym, or she's out for a jog and someone stops her. Like, any decently attractive woman is going to be talked to thousands of times. That's not their fault, right? The guy.
Not to mention social media. I mean, social media is a whole other animal when it comes to getting attention from men. It's a whole other animal.
Guys come up to them. It's not their fault. But what ends up happening, you guys got to understand, is we become extremely proficient at communicating with men, okay? And then they're social creatures in general. So not only do they have the, biological makeup to be better communicators or better at, ascertaining social situations, they also get the practice. You take an 18-year-old girl versus 18-year-old guy. That 18-year-old girl is going to have tens of thousands of more interaction with the opposite gender than the guy, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Let's put this in a framework that a lot of you guys understand. Imagine sparring 10,000 times, right? Versus sparring maybe 5 times. These two individuals fight. Who do you think is going to win? Someone says social creatures are uninteresting. Yeah, they're very, you got to understand, beach babes. You got to use a little critical thinking here.
I'm going to try to get caught up with the chat a little bit. Obviously, super chats I have to respond to immediately because people are paying for that. But I kind of fall behind on the actual chat itself as I'm just rambling and doing my thing on here. Let me give you guys a little bit of love here so you don't feel forgotten. Oh, Lordy. Aztec says, hard to find because of feminism taking over women's minds in America. Yeah, I'd say in the West in general and arguably everywhere in general. Matt Toast says, go passport, bro. Yeah, the passport, bro thing, honestly, I have my doubts because the toxic, degenerate, trashy, popular culture in the West, the hip-hop culture, the trashy music, the normalizing of degenerate behavior, that is bleeding into every country, not just Western countries. That's bleeding into every country, period. What else we got here? Ginger says, you need some mods. Yeah, I don't really pay much. I try not to spend too much time just talking to the chat. Like I said, obviously, super chats, you have to take the time to address them directly because they're paying. But as far as like trying to watch videos or be live and spend time with you guys, I can only spend limited amounts of time in the chat if I'm going to actually pay attention to what I'm watching. JMS says W Myron, W Ass, W Dev, W O. Let's see, I'm half Filipino, and at least in Japan, they are not my bag. Scam God says, passport bro copium. Yeah, I would argue. I mean, obviously, the passport bro thing, there is some truth to that. Obviously, you're going to have better odds at finding a traditional woman that's not brainwashed by the same pop culture garbage that you see in the West. But I would argue that from what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing, that's still becoming a thing in these other like non-Westernized countries. From what I'm hearing, I don't have any proof, but to my bros that live in those areas and are from those areas and travel to those areas, they're telling me it's getting worse and worse every day over there as well.
Say they're social creatures. What I mean is that they're better able to navigate and understand social dynamics. That's what I mean. Don't be smart, okay? For example, you and a girl walk into a club. For you, maybe with a trained eye, you can look around and you'll be able to tell, okay, that guy's friend zone, that guy, that's his girlfriend. She really likes him. This guy, something's off here, blah, blah, right? You'll have to really be trained and look for it. You know what women can do? They'll walk in the room and they'll tell you within seconds all of the different relationship structures in the club. Within seconds. Get that? What might take a man a few minutes to figure out with a lot of training and studying and reading and all this other bullshit, they'll figure out in seconds. That's what I mean when I say they're socially superior in that regard. That's what I mean. You're right. They are uninteresting. That's not my point, though. They're social creatures. Whereas they're able to navigate social situations significantly better than men. And they're also able to navigate social situations and identify social dynamics better than men. What took you years to figure out, hours on YouTube researching, reading books, you're reading Why We Deserve Less, The Rational Male, The Game, The Mystery Method. What took you years to figure out, she naturally understands. Do you get that? So this is what I mean. They're born with it because since they're the weaker sex, they need to quickly be able to figure out social dynamics, to figure out if they're in a dangerous situation or not, chat. This is why we get the creeps when they're around with a weirdo guy. That's why guys that talk weird, sound weird, have weird tics, have weird mannerisms, that's why they're alarms start going off when they talk to niggas like that because that's a safety threat for them. This nigga ain't all the way there. He could hurt me. If he gets his hand on me, I'm done. That's what.
But again, I would argue that I'm seeing women that are actually drawn to those goofballs and the dirtbags and the scammers and the scumbags. I'm seeing, bro, the last time I went out to eat, I'm going to tell you guys this right now. The last time I went out to eat with my bro and my bro Spiro, my bro Don, we're eating and we're joking about the couples that were in there because not to be mean, but we couldn't help but notice that every couple that was in there, the women that were on the more attractive side, they were exclusively with guys that were not traditionally considered attractive. They were exclusively with those guys. I hardly ever see a good-looking woman with a masculine, traditionally attractive guy. I literally never see that anymore. I literally never see that anymore. So, I don't know. I don't know where you guys live or if it's different where you guys are at, but it seems like a lot of women, either because of birth control changing their desires, because their hormones are a little bit skewed. I don't know if it's just the propaganda from what they're seeing and hearing in movies and television and the feminist propaganda and the woke left propaganda, but it seems like whether this is natural or it's an act, a lot of the women in my area are exclusively out to dinner, holding hands with, on dates with, spending time with guys that men look at and go, man, this is not what I would consider a man that other men respect or want to be. And it's just something weird that I've noticed. I see it all the time, man. I see it all the time. So things are changing.
Get freaked out by creepy or guys that aren't smooth. This is why it's so important to be smooth as a guy. You get it now? Oh, it could be awkward, shy, and timid. It's not going to matter. For us, we kind of look at it as endearing and interesting and funny, right? Like,
we got another super chat from our boy Praise the Dawn. Thank you, brother. I always appreciate that. It's always a mud shark with a dread. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. You're going to get me banned, man. You're going to get me banned. In my area, man, it doesn't matter what the guy looks like, bro. Whatever the race of the woman and the race of the guy, it's always the attractive women of any race, religion, walk of life with a not attractive, not a guy that other men would want to be type of man of any race, religion, walk of life. So from what I've seen in my area, across the board, it doesn't matter. No matter what kind of guy she's into, as far as like race, religion, style, hobbies, whatever. The physical look of that guy is always, almost always, somebody that men would look at and say, damn, this is not a guy that I would want to be. So I think a lot of women are just so toxic that they're doing this on purpose. I think a lot of women have become so toxic because of the propaganda and stuff that they're seeking out men that go against societal norms. And I don't know why they're doing that, besides maybe they're a little mentally ill. My opinion, YouTube, don't ban me. But I'm seeing it, man. I'm seeing it everywhere.
it's cute. For them, it's like, that's a red flag. Something's wrong with this nigga, bro. He could hurt me. He could do some weirdo shit. Read strength. Anyway.
I'm a part of a lot of crazy stuff in the past few weeks.
Crazy stuff in the past few weeks.
We know what that means.
And so I'm like resetting my body.
Resetting my body. See, we all know what that means. The Clav knows what that means. But you know what the crazy part is? Like, some dumb simp might not understand what the hell she's saying.
Well, no, it's not that he doesn't understand. They don't care. These super desperate guys now, well, men in general are getting so desperate that they don't even care. It's not about not knowing. You can tell them straight up. They're going to go, I just don't ruin this for me. If I have a shot, I'm going all in because I haven't had a shot in my whole 22 years of existence. That's the way these guys think. Yeah, that's the way they think because of the world that we've created with the degeneracy and pop culture norms and social programming and all the things we all talk about. This is the world that we've created now. So it's not that they don't know. You could tell them to their face. You can write it down on paper. They'll read it and they don't care. They go, I don't care. I haven't had any luck in my whole 22 years. I'll take what I can get. A lot of it's just straight desperation.
What do you mean by that?
Resetting my body, like I made out with too many people.
Okay, this is classic male omission, right? She's only going to give you the least offensive thing she did in that thing. So she said, I made out with too many people. But she's not going to tell you all the other shit she did until you ask, or unless you ask or press more. Women do this all the time, chat. All the time. They lie by omission all the time.
And what else?
Okay, so he pries a little bit more.
What else? Well,
Now, most guys would have stopped when she said I made out with too many guys. Most guys would probably just say, oh, yeah, like me too. I made out with some chicks too, blah, blah, and just keep it pushing so they can smash, right? But obviously, Clav is going a bit further. It's on stream. Let's have some fun with it. Ask her some more, right? See what she says.
have fun.
Fun. Let me tell y'all something, bro. I don't give a f- what anyone tells you, what they claim, anything. Let me be explicitly clear about this shit so you guys understand. When everyone say, I want to have fun, that always entails other men, okay? I'm going to say that again because a lot of you guys, y'all really need to know this. This is super important because they will always lie about this shit. Anytime a female says, oh, we just want to go have fun, we just want to have fun, I had some fun, that always has to deal with other men. Women don't actually enjoy the company of other women. Let me be clear about that shit.
That is a fact, and I'm going to add a little bit to that, what he just said. I laugh when I see women who are nightclub goers, and they enjoy that trashy, degenerate culture in itself. And they always say stuff. If they have a man, or they're talking to a potential man that's interested in dating them, they always try to like disarm the complaints he's going to have about that trashy behavior and those trashy hobbies. And they'll say something like, it has nothing to do with attention from men. I couldn't care less about that. I'm going out with my friends to have fun and to feel good about myself and just enjoy our own company. And it is the biggest laughable crock of shite I've ever heard. The biggest load of shite I've ever heard. Same thing with the gym, bro. Every girl says, I don't dress like this to get attention from men at the gym. Just stop. Liar, liar, whore, liar, stop. You're lying. And I'll tell you guys something that proves that they're lying with the gym thing. I've thought this and I've observed this so many times when I go to the gym. Most of you that go to relatively crowded gyms, you'll notice that a lot of young women will come into the gym. They'll dress in like baggy sweatpants and a hoodie. They're not always walking into the gym dressed provocatively. They'll have that outfit underneath the baggy sweats or the baggy hoodie. But if you're at the gym and you see these girls come into the gym, pay attention. If the gym is empty and there's no cute boys around, 9 times out of 10, in my experience, they will leave the baggy sweatpants on. They will leave the baggy hoodie on. They won't take that off. Now, if a bunch of cute boys come walking in, all of a sudden, the hoodie comes off. They're down to the sports bra. The sweatpants come off. They're down to the booty shorts. Caught. Busted. Caught. You're going to jail. Hold on. We got another super chat. Thank you to Jay Blaze, 11, $5. I appreciate that, brother. That means a lot to me. Shout out to you, Dev. I appreciate the content. Well, Jay Blaze, I appreciate the super chat. That means a lot to me. I appreciate you guys being here, spending time with me on a Sunday afternoon or maybe an evening, depending on where you are. But yeah, man, I appreciate that. That means a lot to me. Where was I? Yeah, busted. They're lying. And if that's the case, I've said this. I think Myron has said this. A lot of people have said this. I've heard Rollo Tomasi say this and Mike Sartain say this. If you get a woman, if you interact with a woman and she tries to use that lame excuse about dressing provocatively, if they say, this has nothing to do with attention from men, I do this because I want to have fun and I enjoy looking good and feeling good about myself, ask them this very question. Why the hell do you sit around at home then in baggy sweatpants with no makeup, eating potato chips and watching Law and Order or this documentary or this crime movie? Why aren't you dressed up when you're at home by yourself? Because you're a liar. Liar, liar, whore, liar. Busted. Anyway, back to Myron Gaines.
They don't. They don't like each other. And the reason why they don't like each other is because they understand each other, okay? I've said it before, I'll say it again. You can either respect as equals or you can understand them. You can't do both. And since we understand each other, they don't like each other, okay? In the majority of cases, they don't like each other. So when they say just having fun or girls want to have fun, that always means being okay? Tired of sugarcoating this shit, bro. I'm tired of the sugarcoating this shit. It always means being, whether overtly by sucking, smashing guys, or by dressing provocatively, or being an attention, going to clubs, going to nightclubs, entertaining men. That's what fun means for these.
I agree. I agree entirely. And again, I'll add the gym to that too. And I'm not saying women don't care about fitness and health, and I'm not saying that's not the case. But what I am saying is when they try to act like they are dressing extremely provocative at the gym because it just makes them feel good about themselves, they don't care about men. A lot of times that's a lie. I'm not saying it's exclusively a lie. They're never telling the truth. But what I'm saying is, from my experience, from what I've seen when I'm at the gym, in between sets, people watching, I've noticed that. Like I said earlier, I've noticed that these young women that come into the gym, old women too, for that matter, and they walk in with the baggy hoodie, the baggy sweatpants, they don't take that off if the gym is empty or there's no cute boys around. They almost never do it. If they walk into the gym and there's cute boys around, all of a sudden they're stripping down to the booty shorts and the sports bra because that's what they're there for. They want the attention. They want the attention. That's why they post it on their social medias. Their social media, every gym girl's social media might as well be an OF. Why don't they all just have OF? Why not just get paid? You're posting the same thing. You're leaving nothing to the imagination. You're not better than the OF girl. You're not more virtuous. You're not more valuable than the OF girl. None of you gym girls are. And I love a girl that takes care of herself. I'm a gym guy myself. So I'm kind of smacking my own foot with a hammer as I say this, but let's be real. The gym culture has become extremely over-sexualized, extremely toxic. It has. That's on the male side when it comes to drug abuse, or on the female side that as well on the female side, quite honestly, and the over-sexualization. Let's try that again. The over-sexualization of the outfits in the gym, or the women in the gym, I should say. So it's what he's saying is true, in my opinion. It's what I've seen for a long time.
You guys get that? It's engaging in degenerate behavior with the opposite gender. That's what it means. Girls want to have fun. We want to have fun. It's not them sitting in the house and drinking tea and talking about soap operas. It's them going to clubs, going out, going to the beach, getting attention from men, drinking alcohol, getting invited to tables, getting invited on jets, having a good time, right? That's what it means.
Myron's on a roll here. He's right. He's so right. I love this. I love this. God bless Myron Gaines.
Fun at the cost of other men paying for it so that they can try to smash, and them siphoning as much value as they can. That's fun for these. Getting attention and validation from men, and in some regards, having with said men. But it always entails men. Remember that. Whenever a girl says, I want to have fun, big red flag.
I would go a little step further too and say that when I talk to guys that they try to tell me, hey man, you're toxic, you're just trying to be edgy, I'm in a healthy relationship, I'm in a traditional relationship, and you look at the girl they're dating, and she's like a gym girl that's posting completely trashy, over-sexualized content with trashy hip-hop music playing in the background while she dances in booty shorts. It's like, bro, you're not in what most people would consider to be a healthy monogamous relationship. Again, I don't even know if monogamy is possible anymore. Is real monogamy even possible with social media and dating apps and corn garbage at your fingertips on your phones? Is it even possible anymore? Or have we just moved the goalposts so much that now we're accepting less than ideal situations as traditional and healthy and loyal and modest and monogamous? I think we've moved the goalposts so much that real monogamy would be made fun of today. I mean, real monogamy, real loyalty, real commitment is damn near non-existent today. And I think that if most people saw it, especially young people, they would make fun of it. They wouldn't even know what they're looking at. It would look like prison. Real monogamy, real loyalty, real commitment probably looks like a prison to most young women.
That fun with other niggas, not you.
Yep.
Okay? Do not be fooled by this stupid comment that we throw all the time.
And so I'm like resetting my body.
Bruh, incredible.
Incredible.
What do you mean by that?
Resetting my body, like I made out with too many people.
Yeah, so here we go again. I made out with too many people again. Lying by omission again.
And what else?
Okay, he presses further.
And what else?
He already knows.
Okay, now she's at a crossroads. Am I going to say what really happened and lose out?
Well, I have fun.
Okay, so she tries to get to deflect it using a de-escalated word, fun. We know what fun means, though.
I like to.
Okay, then she finally comes out.
Yeah.
Then she finally comes out. And mind you, just so you guys know, this girl's probably a star of some OnlyFans. Okay, so he was able to get this information out of her pretty easily. Most people wouldn't go this far and admit this.
But most women are still like that, unfortunately, today. And I'm not saying it to be mean or hateful. No, I'm just being honest, dude. Like, saying jokes like, I like to F and I've made out with too many people and I've been looking at this on my phone. You should see my web browser history. Like, that's most young women today. This is the problem. So all these channels like mine that make content like this to wake men up and remind men what to look out for, it's because this is what's becoming normal now. And so many guys want to just tell other men to do better. And I get that. We do need to tell men to do better. They need to take their vitamins. They need to hit the gym. They need to be improving. They need to try to make more money and acquire more skills and help people and be valuable. But at the same time, we need to tell women to do better because there's no good women out here for these guys to date. And what we're doing instead of holding women accountable, what we're doing is we just keep moving the goalpost. We just keep saying, I mean, well, let's just consider this a good woman. Then it's not that bad. I saw the movie at college. Yeah, someone sent me that video with those 4 guys. You know, you can't win them all. You gotta compromise to some degree. Just get over it, man. Like, that's what we're doing now. Like, I see guys that are super successful, that are jacked, that are fit, that are handsome, have great cars, great smiles, great personalities, great hobbies, great credit scores, and they are committing to women that are trash. And the trashy women wake up every morning thinking they are the prize. That's the problem here. Wake up, McFly. Hello, McFly. Is anybody home?
They do the same shit, okay? Understand that. This is a 304. We know this. It's a part of her job. Other women that have professional jobs do the same shit. They just will dress it up better than this for obvious reasons.
And the church girls, too. The church girls, too.
Do you like to?
Okay, so then she tries to qualify it. Well, don't you like to too? Completely forgetting the fact that men and women are not the same. Right? That's another telltale sign of, by the way, chat. Women that think that male and female sexuality is symmetrical, that's another sign that they're... Like the white girl yesterday that I showed you guys, that said like, oh yeah, these guys bring nothing to the table outside of... Yeah, you're a 304, bro. You're a 304. That is a masculine way to look at gender dynamics. That is a masculine way to look at gender dynamics. If you're looking at it like that you're a 304. Simple as that, okay? You're a 304. Promiscuity for men is not the same thing as promiscuity for women at all.
How many people does that entail?
It depends on the energy.
Bruh. That's not what he asked you. So now she realizes that he's caught on to her being a 304. So she doesn't answer the question. She knows what he asked. He said, how many people? And then she says, oh, it depends on the energy. What? What the
No, like how many people are we talking about?
There we go. Clarifies it again for the dumb. Watch her deflect it again. Because now she realizes she up, right? She realizes, okay, I just turned this guy off. Let me see if I can fix this.
How many? No, it's nothing crazy.
Yeah, it's nothing crazy, which is why you don't want to say it. Okay. All right. 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 All right.
What is nothing crazy, man?
I love how he keeps pushing her, though. This is great. Just so you guys know, most interactions wouldn't go this far because women would never answer a lot of these questions and they continue to give ambiguous answers. But I'm assuming this girl's probably an OnlyFans girl or a star. So, like, she'll be a little bit more forthcoming than your average chick. But I want you guys to pay attention. Even a worker does experience a little bit of shame here, right? Being a worker is completely antithetical to their, like, female preservation / survivability that they've been hardwired with, okay?
Not in Seattle, bro. You want to talk about sex workers? That is everywhere in Seattle, man. In comment sections for like local Instagram pages where these independent journalists will cover stuff or news organizations will cover stuff. The comment sections are full, and I mean full, of women and men who go out of their way to speak highly of these women who are sex workers. They act like they are royalty. And if you say a bad word about them or you attack their character or you judge them, you will be dogpiled by the masses. So at least in my area, there ain't no shame for that. It is heavily accepted and promoted in my area, man.
Being an open 304 goes against everything a is supposed to do. It's not in their nature. So for her, she's extremely uncomfortable with this, even though she's a 304.
Nothing crazy.
Yeah, no, yeah, she doesn't want to answer it. Yeah, yeah. So even that's too far for her.
It's okay. Nothing crazy. I have a secret life.
I have a secret.
Like a secret life off camera.
A secret life off camera. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So what is the takeaway from this, guys? I'm here to tell you guys, though this girl probably was an influencer or a 304 or whatever, that's not really the point here. The reason why I'm showing you guys what she's saying or whatever is because regardless of the is a 304 OnlyFans girl, worker, whatever, I need you guys to understand the software is still fairly the same, okay? It wouldn't matter if she was a PhD or a 304. When it comes to the way that communicate, when it comes to their sexual history, or when it comes to the way women communicate, when it comes to like lying by omission, right, to not disqualify themselves, or being ambiguous whenever you ask questions about their past. All women do this to a degree. Some more than others, but keep in mind that they have a vested interest in you not knowing their full sexual past because they know that it disqualifies them. Also, they have a biological hardwiring in the back of their brain that tells them that being forthcoming about my sexual history could potentially ruin my sexual future. I'm gonna say that again. They know that being forthcoming about their sexual history can destroy their sexual future. And what that means is being able to lock in a higher status guy who's screening for that. This is why even the biggest 304s have a serious problem with disclosing their body count. They don't want to disclose it because they know that it will close doors for them in the future. So they have to rely on strategic ambiguity, like do with their nuclear bomb, to ensure that they're still able to exercise some type of leverage in the sexual marketplace. Okay? That's why. But I think that was we just put on a clinic for you guys, a repo clinic for you ninjas.
Yeah, that was a good video, really good video from our boy Myron Gaines. That was very enjoyable. Lots of good insights, lots of good info. Let's see what else we've got here. What else is YouTube going to show me when I go to my home page? Oh, Lordy. We got some Pearl. There is some overlap with my audience and Pearl. Shout out to Pearl. She commented on one of my videos a long time ago, and that was pretty awesome. That was pretty awesome. What else we got here? Coach Corey Wayne, stop being boring. How to be fun and attract women. Coach Corey Wayne, he's an OG as well. I'm sure all you guys know who that is. It's funny, I don't really go on YouTube that often on my computer. It's usually on my phone. I watch everything on my phone, so it's weird that I actually come on here and scroll through this. Our boy Terry Joel Jr. Shout out to Terry Joel Jr. He's another OG channel that's been around for a long time. Somebody I really respect. Dude's been around forever, pumps out videos multiple times a day. I don't know how the hell he does it so much, but great channel. Go subscribe to Terry Joel Jr. if you haven't already. One of the OGs of this space, in my opinion, from what I've seen. One of the many inspirations of mine. Our boy Asmund Gold. He's a character. Funny guy. Cool guy. What else we got? Come on, YouTube. Give me something good to check out. Triggered by facts. More drama. Look at our boy Sinaguso. This crazy SOB. 3 hours ago he was streaming. I missed that. That's lame. The 33 Secrets. You guys remember this? That's another channel. Another OG channel that's been around forever. Let's check this video out. Female nature is ruthless. Let's see what we got here.
What's up, guys?
Boys and girls.
Just gonna do a quick video real quick. I've got my Lamborghini here in storage. It's raining out there right now because we're doing some renovation in my garage, actually. So, put it in storage so nothing falls on it, but it is raining out there. I hate driving this car in the rain. Anyway.
By the way, for the record, when I make the joke of like, she's got 250,000 miles on her vadometer between her legs, I got that from Matt from the 33 Secrets. So shout out to Matt from the 33 Secrets, another OG of YouTube that's been around forever, helping men out. And that's where I got that line from. He is the one that originated that, not me. At least as far as I know, he's the one that originally said that. So I want to give him his credit there because, yeah, he's the one that coined that term.
The topic of tonight's coaching video is female nature is ruthless, okay? And let's talk about that, okay? Because it very much is. Man, look how wet this car is. I gotta dry it off. So I've got both my cars in storage right now. I'm gonna I'm gonna share this with you real quick. There you go. Check this out. It's the DeLorean. I got the DeLorean in here too. I got all my stuff back there also that was in the garage. Now it's in here. But yeah, guys, female nature is absolutely ruthless because at the end of the day, I've told you guys before, women do not care about you, right? It does not matter how much you love that girl. It does not matter how many years you've spent with her.
Bro, he's got the DeLorean. Back to the Future. Such a good movie. I think every Back to the Future is pretty good. I can't think of a bad one.
All of the time, money, and resources you've invested in her. None of that matters. The only thing that matters to her is that you remain solid as a man, okay? And this is driving me nuts with the red pill and all the manosphere and, especially the black pill. They talk about like looks, money, status. Yeah, that stuff will get you in the door easily gets you in the door. However, it won't keep the girl. Okay, it won't keep the girl there. Of course, most guys are gonna be like, oh, who wants to keep her anyway? I get that, but you know what? A lot of guys want relationships. A lot of guys are in relationships. A lot of guys don't understand how ruthless female nature can be. Female nature is really, really, really ruthless, guys. Because at the end of the day, man, women don't care about you. Okay, they only care about themselves. And again, does not matter how much time, money, effort, resources you've spent with that woman, she will leave you. She will leave you for a man who demonstrates that he doesn't need her, right? And this is a problem with most guys in relationships. This is where you go wrong. You get attached to her emotionally. You cannot. I cannot say this enough. You cannot get attached to the girl emotionally. Because if you get attached to that girl, you're going to hand over the leverage to her.
You know, a lot of people hate when someone says that line or when people talk about this, but I got to be honest, man, whether you like it or not, no matter how you feel about what he just said, he's not wrong. And one thing I'll say that kind of proves what he's saying, every guy watching right now, think about this. Anytime you've been out here dating or talking to women, like when you were young, and if you were able to have multiple women you were talking to at the same time, the ones you were not into are always more into you than the ones you really want. Let me say that again. The ones that you're not that into, that you couldn't care less if they come or go, they always want you way more than the ones you're crazy about. Because it's like they can just sense that. Once you're crazy about them, they're turned off because you're just not a prize anymore. And they can just sense it, you know? That's why I tell guys all the time, try your best not to let the Disney stuff infiltrate your mind. And let's be real, like we're all human. If you meet somebody that knocks your socks off and you got butterflies, and enjoy that. It's a beautiful thing. I'm not going to be that cold-hearted and miserable where I tell you not to enjoy the butterflies of meeting someone where the energy is just so amazing that they knock your socks off. I'm not going to say don't enjoy that, but let's be real. What he's saying is true. There is truth to what he's saying. And a lot of people don't like hearing that. A lot of guys get mad when people state the thing he just stated.
And every single guy that I've coached that has lost their woman, right? That's how guys find my channel, by the way. Like 99.9% of the guys, the way they find pickup artists and dating coaches like me is they come from a bad breakup where they lost a girl. They don't just go looking for this content if they're happy, right? If they're in a relationship. They don't, like all the guys who go looking for content like this are coming out of a bad relationship. And that's how I know, because I always like to ask guys, like, what happened? Always the same story. No matter what she tells the guy, like, oh, we weren't aligned. We just had different opinions on life. We had different values, or, he was just, I didn't like the restaurants he took me to. There's so many excuses these women come up with. It's insane. All right, back to Lamborghini. It's insane how many excuses these women come up with. But what it always boils down to at the end of the day is the fact that you became attached to the girl, right? And a funny thing happens when you become attached to a woman. You just start behaving differently, right? You start exhibiting these very, sometimes subtle, sometimes blatant signs that you don't feel good about life unless she's in it, okay? that you really can't function. That's a great shot. Function as a man unless she's part of your life. And this is where every guy goes wrong. Not just you, not me, me included, right? I've made this mistake before, I've corrected it. But this is where every guy goes wrong. You start needing your woman, right? You start needing her just a little too much. You start liking her just a little too much. You start thinking about her just a little too much. You start calling her, texting her, wanting to see her just a little too much, and you can't, right? If you want to keep your relationship together, I'm going to give you the fix right now. I'm going to give you the hack. This is all you have to do in order to keep women in your life and never, ever, 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 ever lose a woman again. Do this. Do not get emotionally attached to her.
And a lot of people are going to say that this is manipulative, this is toxic, but I'm going to be honest with you guys. What he's saying is true. It's true. As a man, like the old saying goes, all the red pill guys say, be on your grind, be on your purpose. You know, you don't ever make a woman your number one priority because she'll leave you. Like, it is a turnoff. You can ask any level-headed, sane woman, any normal woman, relatively normal woman. I know they're kind of hard to find, but you might be able to find one eventually to ask them this question. Ask them how they feel when a guy makes her their number one priority. They just get turned off. Why do you guys think the scumbags and the dirtbags and the losers and the scammers and the players tend to get more women? Because they genuinely, in their heart of hearts, are not attached to the outcome. They don't care. They don't care. Every guy that I know that you'd call like a player or a ladies' man, most of them are not super jacked. They're not super handsome. They're not super rich. They're not super anything. They simply step out and they approach dating like it's a game. They have no attachment to the outcome. They couldn't care less. They'll say something to a woman if they find her attractive. They'll say it right then and there. They don't wait. They don't hesitate. They say what's on their mind. They say how they feel. They don't diddle-daddle. They don't operate in the gray area. And it's my way or the highway. Are you interested or not? Okay, good luck to you. Hopefully you find what you're looking for. On to the next one. That's how they think of this thing. And they hardly, if ever, plan their day or make their decisions or prioritize around a woman or the woman that they're dating. Like most guys that have a lot of success with women will tell you this, and the successful guys will tell you this. They are relatively, if not very selfish. Why do you think every woman has dated nothing but narcissists? Ask any recently single woman about her ex. They're going to call him a narcissist. 99% of women call every ex that they've ever had a narcissist. And I'm sure they're over applying that term or over applying that label, but it's because the guy that they were into, that they couldn't keep, couldn't lock down entirely, he was just focused on himself and his purpose and his grind. And he was worried about the gym and looking good and feeling good. He was worried about hanging with the bros or making more money or learning these skills. He didn't have time to go to Sunday brunch because he has this to do or that to do. I'm going to be real. What he's saying is true.
That's all you got to do. Because female nature is ruthless. And that chick does not care how many years you spent with her, how much time you spent with her. None of that matters, son. The only thing that matters to her is, can you live your life without her? Or do you need her? The second you need her, especially more than she needs you, guess what? She will go right back out there looking for another dude. And it does not matter. Okay? I want you to understand. Doesn't matter you have a Lamborghini. Doesn't matter.
Matters a little bit.
This will help get girls in the door. It will not help to keep them there or keep them attracted to you.
Or keep them loyal, because everyone keeps using money all the time. You want chicks, got to have money. No, bro. Money will get you used. I'll tell you guys, if I won the lottery tomorrow, I mean, you'd probably know. I'm sure I'd buy cool stuff. But if I was like super well off and set for life, the last thing I would do is lead with that. The last thing, I would be so paranoid about being used, I would try my damnedest to not let them know that I had money. Guys that do that have no luck with women. And they have no confidence, and they don't believe the slightest bit that the real them is desirable at all, or attractive at all, or worth committing to at all. Guys that lead with money, in my experience, tend to be the most insecure, the least amount of success with women, and they know that the money is the only thing that's remotely worth considering in a woman's mind. So to those of you that have money, do not lead with it. You will get played 90% of the time.
It won't, because what the woman wants to see ultimately is that you are able to sustain without her. A girl like that, say I pick up a girl in this Lamborghini, she will leave me for a guy with a Toyota Corolla. Okay? She will leave for a guy with a Toyota Corolla if he demonstrates polarity, right? If he is not attached to her. And this is why it's so hurtful when your girl...
Must be in California or
it's
Seattle.
It's so annoying, right? I wonder why, like, who made up the sound for the siren? They're like, let's come up with the most annoying sound ever to really annoy everyone. Anyway. Trying to concentrate. Anyway, it does not matter. You have a nice car, or you're 6'5" and I'm not 6'5", I'm like 5'10", 5'11". It doesn't matter how jacked you are, how hot you are, you're a male model. It doesn't matter.
Hot matters. Hot matters. I have to say that I disagree with that. Hot matters, and in a woman's mind, hot depends on what popular culture tells them is hot. Because like I said earlier, a lot of the women that I see today, the prettiest of them are usually never with guys that men would look at and say, that's somebody I'd like to be. Man, he's killing it. Man, he's jacked, or he's traditionally handsome, whatever. Like, they're hardly ever with those guys. In my area, most women are just with complete losers, guys that aren't fit. They have horrible body language. They have nothing going for them. And it's because our popular culture, and what popular culture is to a lot of women, being like feminism and leftist nonsense, they are attracted to what that crowd or what that image tells them to be attracted to. So a lot of guys forget that when they're out here trying to be the best version of themselves, and they get discouraged because they're getting jacked, or they're making more money, and they're looking their best and living their best. You got to remember something. Popular culture now in the West does not promote that or reward that. It actually goes against that. It puts that down. It demonizes successful men. It demonizes masculine men who are fit and jacked and have self-respect. So a lot of these young women's minds are twisted and warped. You got to remember that.
Channing Tatum, Magic Mike, even he just got left, right? Didn't his wife like divorce him too recently? The girl will always leave. Okay, the girl will always leave. The second, she won't leave overnight, but the second she realizes that you need her more than she needs you,
right?
It's the end of the beginning.
Yep.
Okay, it is the end of the beginning.
The beginning of the end.
This is why you can never let that happen. And if that is happening in your relationships, time to step back, right? It's time to step back. And it's really hard to step back if you're just starting to like her. But you have to. You know how you step back? You know how you regain control? You get back in abundance. You start going back out there.
But the problem is something else I need to address with the whole dating discussions. We can tell guys not to be like overly attached or overly involved and just ignore her a little bit. Like all these things that people can argue would be like manipulations. But with the advent of the internet and social media, women don't even feel loss anymore. If they feel the slightest hint of you making them unhappy, they will go straight to that phone to look for the next guy to fill that void. That's another major problem. Men can't even be in their frame and act masculine. Because if you say or do anything in the slightest bit that she doesn't want to see, or she doesn't want to hear, or she doesn't want to experience, she has that smartphone as a safety net, as a fallback plan. And there is no end, no limit to the amount of simps and white knights and weak, submissive clowns who will praise her and tell her she's beautiful and say or do anything for her, buy her anything, give her more compliments than she can read in 1 hour. So as a man, the world that we live in now is almost like whipping men into being the lesser, the weak one, the submissive one. The world that the big machine has created now with pop culture and social media and the internet and dating apps It is now creating a world where men can't really have leverage. Like, we can tell men until we're blue in the face to walk, talk, act, be, and become a man that is respected and would have leverage and options. But the world that we live in almost makes that impossible, because women are not really able to miss you unless you're such a top tier 1% guy that's just irreplaceable. Like, those are the only guys that even have a shot at being missed or having her say, I could never replace him. The average man, good luck, bro. Good luck having a woman feel like you're irreplaceable. I'm not saying that to be depressing. I'm just saying, whether you guys like it or not, you better be grinding double time to be as fit as ever, as confident as ever, as smart as ever, as wealthy as ever. Like I say all the time, whether you like it or not, whether you get mad at me for saying this, you have to be undeniable today. You have to be. I don't like that. It pains me to say that. I'm just saying that's the fact of the matter. Most average men are not going to get women because, for one, the women don't see average men anymore. And even the most average or below average men don't have women out here that are worth dating. So we have just found ourselves in a terrible predicament. Oh my God.
Okay? And that's hard when you're in a relationship, you become complacent, you just want to stay with your girl on the couch, watch TV. But as long as you do that, that cancer is going to spread. That cancer of complacency that your girl is feeling is going to spread. It's going to slowly start attacking her nervous system, her attraction for you. It's going to start eroding it. And then one day, you're going to wake up like a few months from now, even a few years from now. I've seen these things that take like years for it to erode. And then suddenly, she tells the guy, you know what, I'm not really feeling this. The guy's like, what? We have kids together. We have a house together. I don't think I'm feeling this anymore.
Yep.
Like, what? And then she'll come up with these like crazy excuses like, yeah, you never cook for me. It's like, what? I barbecue every single weekend. I make dinners. What are you talking about, right? None of it will make sense. It'll feel like she's gaslighting you. Look how awesome this looks. I'm going to take a shot here. It'll feel like she's gaslighting you, right? And this is what's happened in your own breakups. You know, your girl came up with all these retarded excuses. You're like, scratch your head going, huh? What are you talking about?
I've noticed if I use that word too, the R word, YouTube is just so touchy now when it comes to like censorship. That's why I as annoying as it is, I have to be careful. I try my best to be careful with the words that I use and like descriptive words like CUFID or the big cough, or, because if I look at my analytics and I use any of these words that shouldn't be considered edgy words, really, quite frankly, the impressions are just zilch. They will just suppress that video and not show it to anyone. So unfortunately, to any of you guys that want to make YouTube videos, as lame as it is to say this and do this, you do have to be careful with what you say, or else your videos will not get showed to anybody. So it makes me laugh that he used that R word there, retarded. I'm going to use it. Why not? I love that word. I'm surprised that he's even getting any views by using that word.
You were never home. What are you talking about? I work from home. I work remote. Things like that. What are you talking about? It won't make sense because in her mind, I mean, she knows she's BSing you, by the way, but in her mind, she's looking for any excuse so that you'll just leave. So you'll make it easy for her. She doesn't want to be the bad guy in this. Women don't like to be the villain.
Right.
So they try to make it easy. That's why they say on the way out, like, oh, I'll always love you. As they monkey branch to Chad, right? As they monkey branch to the next bad boy who doesn't need to have a Lamborghini, does not need to own a DeLorean. Are you crazy? Women should just stay with you because you got a DeLorean. You got the Back to the Future car. No, they don't. Right?
He's right.
They will stay with you if you keep up the polarity. If you maintain your life without her, son, if you stay on your path and purpose, as I always talk about, right? And you never, ever, ever, ever prioritize her. Please, guys, please don't prioritize your woman. Please stop watching these Hollywood movies that tell you, except for Back to the Future, that tell you that, your woman is like, oh, she's always gonna, the more you love her, the more she'll love you back. No. This is why I'm not big on movies. Okay? Not big on movies. Well, at least romantic ones, right? You got to be careful because Hollywood really has screwed up so many men, generations of men, and made them believe like this is, yeah, as long as you act like this, man, yeah, this will get the girl. And no. And even in our own manosphere, a lot of people lead you to believe, as long as you got the DeLoreans, as long as you got the Lamborghinis, that, hey, chick's not going anywhere, man. No. Ask all these celebrities that lose their wives. Ask all these celebrities where their wives are cheating on him. And those guys can easily replace their wives, right? They can like tap their fan base. That's what I would be doing. I'd be like, just have a reality show, like, who are the most attractive women in my fan base? Step forward. We're gonna do like a old school VH1 style reality show where, you know, like Rock of Love with Brett, what's his name? Brett Michaels from Poison. You're gonna compete, man. You're gonna compete to be my next girl. And then let his ex-wife, Jada, and all these other, Tiger Woods' ex-wife and all them, let them watch that and go, I'm being replaced by a younger, hotter woman. Right? Air that all over TV. It gets so many ratings, but these guys won't do it. Why? Because they're pussies. They're like, I don't want to ruin my chance with her. I don't want to ruin my chance with Jada, this 58-year-old, woman that has totally treated me like crap and treated Tupac like gold. Anyway, guys, female nature is ruthless, man. Never forget, because that same chick that you loved, you cared for, you provided for, you protected all your life, that same woman has no problem just annihilating you in divorce court. She has no problem calling the cops on you, making up false, creating like making false statements about you, getting restraining orders and stuff like that. So the next guy can come over while she keeps you away.
So I'm going to spend a little bit of time in the chats. Good video, good channel. Shout out to the 33 Secrets. Get over there and give them a follow if you haven't already. We'll drop them a like just for the hell of it. Why not? I'm going to get into the chat a little bit and spend a little time with you guys before I have to end this. It's getting late, and as you can tell, I'm stealing my work clothes. I got to get a shower. I got to get a lot of stuff done. What do we got here? I think a lot of you guys are just talking to each other in the chats, so let's see if we have any good questions. Space Out says, this guy seems to have some maturity issues himself. Maybe. The 33 Secrets is a good channel, though. I mean, overall, I'm sure he's probably playing a character to some degree. Maybe I'm wrong, but he's got a good channel, man. And he's lighthearted, kind of a youthful soul, which is not a bad thing in my opinion. Gone Ape Entertainment says, Will Smith is a celebrity. They are all nuts. Yeah, I guess the celebrity world is kind of hard to compare yourself to. These people, they live in a different world altogether. I won't even get started on that. I got to be careful what I say. Aztec says, the women in America are cooked. Yeah, I still try to believe that there are some good women out there. I don't want to sit here and tell you guys that there's no good women anywhere. Yeah, there's no shot at finding somebody good. There is. But it's just there's not enough of them, bro. There's not enough to go around. There's really not enough to go around. Again, I think that the popular culture normalizing just the worst of the worst behavior, it promotes it, it celebrates it, it rewards it. So that's what we're kind of seeing now, We're seeing women that look around and they see that this is what's popular. This is what everybody wants to be. This everybody wants to see. This is what men pay attention to. So it's a lot of that too. Anyway, guys, it is 6 o'clock in my area anyways, in my time. I got to get going. It was good having you guys here. I appreciate the super chats as always. That means a lot to me. I appreciate you guys spending time with me. And I've been leaning a little more into lives lately than making videos. I still like making videos, but honestly, the way YouTube is, the state of YouTube, and the games you have to play to get impressions, part of me doesn't really like playing those games. YouTube doesn't really go off of the content itself that much anymore from what I've seen. I'll get into that another time. I'll get into my gripes with YouTube another time. But yeah, I eventually want to move over to Kick to live stream because I do enjoy live streaming. I do enjoy spending time with you guys, but monetarily, it's really not worth it. I enjoy live streaming because I get to spend time with you guys and just kind of be myself and be sporadic. But when it comes to begging for super chats or relying on super chats to make money, because that's the only way you make money doing this, YouTube takes a big chunk of that, and Kick is a lot different. Kick actually, they're not taking the money the same way YouTube is, and I like YouTube, but I don't like the idea of them making so much off of you, you know? And I try not to let money be like the number one thing when it comes to making videos or live streaming, but it is a thing. Let's be real. It is a thing. I don't have any shame in saying that. It's a thing. And YouTube's not where it's at the same way that it used to be, in my opinion. Some people are going to disagree with that, but YouTube is not where it's at, in my opinion, the same way that it used to be. Even with the way they promote videos and don't promote other videos, I think YouTube is dying. I'll make that statement right now as I end this live stream. I think YouTube is dying, quite frankly. I won't get into the details of that right now necessarily, but I think the viewers are kind of just bored with YouTube overall. A lot of them are. I think the content creators are not really happy with the way YouTube is being run. I think a lot of people are having complaints with the algorithm and how they really push some videos that don't even have good metrics as far as view duration and click-through rate, but they happen to just latch onto a certain title and they just run with that and they get crazy impressions. And then other people will create videos that get really good average view duration, really good click-through rates, and they just don't want to push those channels or those videos. So people are kind of fed up in many ways. And with the mass censorship, and you got to walk on eggshells with everything you say and everything you post, and people's comments get deleted constantly. People's channels are getting deleted. Everything is considered bullying. Everything is considered hate speech. And a lot of people like to say that's not the case and you're really free on YouTube, but you're not. And the impressions will tell you that. Like, I'm surprised my videos that are relatively controversial have had the amount of success that they've had, because they're not getting that many impressions. I'm not getting a million impressions on these videos like a lot of people are. In fact, a lot of people that I talk to, their views are less than mine, way less than mine, and they're getting way more impressions than me. Their average view duration is way less than mine. Their click-through rate is way less than mine. But they're getting so many impressions that it would blow your mind. And it's just YouTube or algorithm or the AI deciding to just pump certain videos out and just not show others to people. Anyway, that has nothing to do with this live stream. I thank you all for being here. I appreciate you guys. But as much as I enjoy live streaming, I mainly just do it to have a little fun and interact with you guys. I mean, it's not worth it financially. In my opinion, it's really not. I don't like sitting here for hours on end. I don't know how these people do it. I have a lot to do. I'm busy, and I'm actually losing money by sitting here doing this. Quite frankly, I am, but I enjoy it. So I think that if you guys keep messaging me, enjoying the live streams, because I get a lot of messages. That's why I'm doing this. A lot of you guys are like, hey, man, live stream. I enjoy the live streams. So I'm trying to make you guys happy, but I'm going to be real. If I continue to do the live streams because I start enjoying them more, it's going to just be probably on Kick. If you guys are willing to go subscribe on Kick and you'll be loyal enough to tune in over there, I'll definitely consider live streaming more. But as far as like doing it on YouTube, it's really not worth it. I'm not saying you can't make good money live streaming, but then I'd have to just beg you guys to just super chat to no end. Give me all your money. Give me $5 for your questions, $10 for your questions. And I'm not shaming people to do that, because you have to do that to make money live streaming. You have to. You have to. And I know that you're going to get judged by people for doing that. Money's a thing, though. Money's a thing. And anybody that live streams and tells you different, I assume they're lying. Like I said, I enjoy this. It's fun to me to shoot the shit with you guys and live stream. But in order to actually give my thoughts and be myself in a live stream, I can't just pay attention to the chat to no end, because then I'm just going to be reading and kind of shooting from the hip, but never really deep diving into any specific topic or any specific thought. So that's why I'm kind of at a crossroads with the live streams. If I'm going to do them on YouTube, I'm going to have to just lean into like begging for money. And that doesn't feel good. It's kind of cringy. And Kick's setup, it's just way more rewarding than YouTube's. It just is. As far as live streaming goes, there's no comparison. And I'm not very knowledgeable about Kick, but from what I've seen and from what I've heard from like Raymond, our boy, shout out to Raymond, Thoughts in Mind, go subscribe to him over there at Kick. From what he's told me and what other people have told me, from what I've seen, it's no comparison. So if you're going to live stream, YouTube ain't really the place to do it unless you're successfully able to just like, ask for super chats, or you just have a super loyal fan base that just day in and day out will just dump tons of money into you having to like read their specific questions. Anyway, I love you guys. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you spending time with me. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And until next time, take your vitamins, hit the gym, and always stay improved.